I started as the master of Jin Feng's Ayulu, astonishing the world with a single sword. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 901 Zhu Pingsheng's Pursuit, The Sun and Moon Demons. Outside the capital city, there is a remote courtyard. There are 3 dilapidated thatched houses in the courtyard. The courtyard is overgrown with weeds, and the blue stone is covered with moss. No one has lived there for a long time. Cicadas are chirping on a lonely tree nearby. 3 figures appeared in the courtyard. The leader is Yan Ruiyu, the head of the Xian'an sect. The other 2 are her disciples Luo Chong and Liu Liner. "Brother, come out. I know you are in the house," Yan Ruiyu said to the dilapidated house in the courtyard. But there was no response from the thatched house. "Do you want me to ask you to come out?" Yan Ruiyu's eyes turned cold, and she raised the long sword in her hand, and the sword energy flowed in her palm. "Sister, why didn't you leave the capital?" When Yan Ruiyu was about to take action, a black shadow flew out of the thatched house. It was Guangxin Mingjing. "You should know the purpose of my coming here. Take me to see Master. I really want to know why Master killed Liu Yu." "Do you know that Liu Yu is very important to us?" Yan Ruiyu said coldly. "Senior sister, Master did not summon me, so I can't go to see Master. Besides, people from Xianjianxi and SYNOPSIS are looking for us now. Even if we go to see Master, Master won't see us," Guangxin Mingjing said in a deep voice. "The situation is different now. Do you think that we can escape the pursuit of Xianjianxi and SYNOPSIS with our strength? Only by seeing Master can you and I survive," Yan Ruiyu said coldly. Once Liu Yu died, people who knew the character of Emperor Zhou knew that Xianjianxi would move. They could not escape the pursuit of Xianjianxi. What's more, she was being pursued by people from Xianjianxi. "Senior sister, as long as you leave the capital, I think you and I will be safe," Guangxin Mingjing said. As long as he didn't get involved with Yan Ruiyu, he wouldn't be in too much danger. No one knew the relationship between them. As for going to find Master Gu Xianhan, he felt it was more dangerous. That's why he hid here. "Guangxin Mingjing, I must see Master, don't force me to do it." Yan Ruiyu's eyes became cold. "Senior sister, in this situation, do you think Master will consider us? If we go to find Master now, I'm afraid neither you nor I can come out alive. I won't go with you to see Master, nor will I tell you where Master is," Guangxin Mingjing said in a deep voice. "It seems that I can only take you down and find out Master's whereabouts from your mouth." Yan Ruiyu's aura changed, and a cold sword intent emanated from her. Last time she attacked, her identity was exposed. Xianjianxi has already set his sights on her. At this time, the only one who can help her is her master, the second elder of Changshenghu. "Senior sister, it's not that junior brother won't tell you. You are going to harm junior brother me," Guangxin Mingjing said with a bitter face. The ki in his body was flowing, and he still had a chance to survive after fighting with Yan Ruiyu. "You want to see me?" At this time, a deep voice sounded around. Everyone in the courtyard changed their expressions, especially Yan Ruiyu's. "Master," Guangxin Mingjing and Yan Ruiyu saluted at the same time. A black figure walked out of the dark. The whole person was wrapped in a black robe, with a mask on his face, revealing only his eyes. The figure slowly walked in front of several people. "Ruiyu, at this time, you should leave the capital instead of coming to see me," the black-robed man said. "Master, the people of the Xianjian division are targeting me. Even if I leave the capital, I can't survive, and my Xian'an sect will be purged because of this, so I want to take my disciples to Changsheng Island to take shelter for a while," Yan Ruiyu said. "You want to go to Changsheng Island to take shelter?" Hearing Yan Ruiyu's words, the black-robed man's expression moved slightly. After thinking for a moment, he said, "Okay." Then he said to Guangxin Mingjing, "You also follow Ruiyu and the others and return to Changsheng Island together." "Master, I don't want to return to Changsheng Island for the time being," Guangxin Mingjing said. "They are not formal disciples of the Changsheng Association, and their freedom will be restricted after returning to Changsheng Island." Well, hearing Guangxin Mingjing's words, a cold light suddenly flashed in the eyes of the black-robed man. "Since you don't want to go back, then die." The black-robed old man suddenly raised his palm and pointed out a finger, and a black light instantly pierced through Guangxin Mingjing's eyebrows. "Master, you," Guangxin Mingjing raised his hand, but then his body fell to the ground. Seeing this, Yan Ruiyu's expression changed drastically, and the energy around her body flowed, full of vigilance. If I want to kill you, I will kill you first. The black-robed man looked at Yan Ruiyu and said coldly, I didn't expect to see such a big show. At this time, a low voice sounded outside the courtyard. Hear the voice. The black-robed man's expression changed, and he looked outside the courtyard. Zhu Pingshen, dressed in brocade, appeared. Next to him was a burly old man. The old man was wearing a blood-red robe. There was a blazing blood-red sun on the robe, and his blood-red hair was flying. He looked indifferent, and exuded a terrifying bloody aura. Zhu Pingshen, the sun demon of the sun and moon demons, the black-robed man's pupils suddenly shrank. He turned to look at Yan Ruiyu. You betrayed me, master. I didn't bring them. Seeing this, Yan Ruiyu quickly distanced herself from the black-robed man and spoke. Gu Xianhan, you are so brave that you dared to devour the heirs of His Majesty. I will take your head today. Zhu Pingshen's voice was cold. The whole person exuded a hidden aura. The blood-robed old man next to Zhu Pingsheng stepped forward. Gu Xianhan, the second elder of the Changsheng Society, is good at the power of the soul. Today, I would like to ask for your advice to see how strong your power of the soul is. Boom. As soon as the words fell, a terrifying blood energy burst out from the blood-robed old man, and the blood energy crushed the black-robed old man's body like a wave. The blood waves became a mountain. It was heavier than Mount Tai. Bang! Under this pressure, the black-robed old man's body seemed to be pressed down, and the ground under his feet cracked instantly. Cracks appeared on the ground. Roar! The black-robed old man roared. A huge energy burst out from his body, which shook off the energy of the energy. He stepped on the ground and performed a strange and unpredictable body movement, and fled to place in an instant. Want to leave? In front of our brothers, it's not so easy for you to leave. A figure appeared. The palm of his hand was also filled with blood energy, and he slapped it towards a place. The blood-colored palm force suppressed the air and pressed it towards a place. Bang! A figure was forced out and landed in one place. He looked in the direction of the palm. The sun and moon demons really appeared together. The moon demon, the black-robed old man who was forced out, looked at the person who appeared. The person who appeared was also wearing a blood-red robe, but he had a blood-red crescent moon embroidered on his robe. The moon demon of the sun and moon demons. Chapter 902, Huangfu family, the earth concubine appears. Boom. Moon demon. As soon as he appeared, a terrifying blood-colored energy burst out from his body. The blood-colored energy turned into blood moon. It enveloped the black-robed old man. The surrounding space seemed to be imprisoned in an instant under this blood-colored moon. The black-robed old man's expression changed drastically, and a burst of energy appeared on his body to resist this imprisonment. You are not Gu Xianhan. It seems that you appeared just to silence me, but it's a pity that I have been eyeing Yan Ruiyu for a long time. You can't leave. If you want to live now, follow me. Otherwise, you can only leave your body here. Zhu Pingsheng stepped forward and said to the black-robed old man. You want me to go with you? Do you think you can do it? The black-robed old man's eyes emitted a ferocious light. A blood-red pill appeared in his hand and he swallowed it in one gulp. Boom. At the moment when this blood-colored pill was swallowed, a brilliant blood-red light appeared on his body. The light was like blood-red armor, and the terrifying aura was like a tide, bursting out from his body. In an instant, his body was like a furnace. Huh? Burn your life. What do you want? Zhu Pingsheng raised his eyelids and slowly retreated. The opponent was going to fight for life and death. When Zhu Pingsheng retreated, the sun and moon twin demons stepped forward. A terrifying blood-red color appeared on their bodies, like a tide, and the powerful aura on their bodies continued to rise. Boom. The auras of the three collided, making a rumbling and terrifying sound. The sound was like an invisible huge wave, sweeping around. For a while, the ground trembled, and pieces of soil were pushed up by invisible forces, and the entire area was covered with dust. A sandstorm appeared. Kill! The sun and moon twin demons rushed out like lightning. Explode! Just as the two rushed towards each other, the old man in black robes shouted, and the blood-red light burst out again. Then, with a bang, his whole body exploded. The two people who rushed out retreated rapidly. They didn't expect that the other party would explode directly after releasing the momentum. Although they retreated in time, they were still injured by the explosive force and retreated. A trace of blood flowed from the corners of the two people's mouths. They looked at the place where the black-robed man exploded just now with serious eyes. This person's strength may have reached the top level of sea concentration. I didn't expect that he would be controlled by Gu Xianhan. The voices of the sun and moon twin demons were full of surprise. Are you two okay? Zhu Pingsheng looked at the sun and moon twin demons and said. Some injuries, but nothing serious. This person should be controlled by Gu Xianhan's soul. Fortunately, we avoided it in time, otherwise we would be seriously injured. This Gu Xianhan is really cunning, the sun demon of the sun and moon demon said in a deep voice. Zhu Pingsheng's eyes became gloomy, and he turned to look at Yan Ruiyu and the other two on the other side. Are you going with me? Or stay here like the one just now? We'll go with you, Yan Ruiyu said without any hesitation. He who knows the times is a hero, and Master Ruiyu is a smart person. Zhu Pingsheng opened his mouth and took people away. Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower, Bai Chaofei looked at the secret letter in his hand, with a hint of surprise in his eyes. It seems that Yan Ruiyu and the others' whereabouts are under Zhu Pingsheng's control, but Gu Xianhan's soul control ability is extraordinary. I just don't know if Zhu Pingsheng can get clues about the second elder of the Changsheng Society from Yan Ruiyu, Bai Chaofei murmured. Then he looked at Nalan Ronggyan. How is the investigation at Xianfeng Temple? Who is the final tracking direction? We did find out, but the place we found out is a little unimaginable. The final target location is actually the meditation room where Master Xianmi is, Nalan Ronggyan said solemnly. Master Xianmi? How could Master Xianmi be the second elder of the Changsheng Society? Bai Chaofei looked a little solemn. He didn't expect to find such a result. If it is Master Xianmi, it seems that we need to cooperate with Yuan Qingchen. If we take down Xianfeng Temple, it should be able to help the master gain a lot of luck. Bai Chaofei thought to himself. Jiangnan. Huangfu family. In a dungeon, a person's hands and feet were locked by huge iron chains, and two huge iron claws were grasped on the scapula of his shoulders. As long as he moved, blood would flow out. The blood on other parts of his body was dried. His face was covered by hair, and his face could not be seen clearly. Creak. The door of the dungeon was opened. A graceful figure walked in. It was a woman in a black long dress. The woman's black hair fell like a waterfall, and her figure was well proportioned. The black dress fell to the ground, outlining a series of hazy curves, and her graceful figure was also bright. The face of this woman was not inferior to the previous Xianfei. Earth concubine, you bitch, along with the curse, the person locked by the iron chain roared. The entire iron chain shook, and the iron claws locked on his scapula penetrated into the bone, and blood kept flowing out. From the other party's mouth, it can be known that the woman in the black dress is the earth concubine of the demon sect Huangfu Yunshen. It's not me who arrested you, it's your brother Huangfu Fiang, not me, the earth concubine said softly. If it weren't for you, a bitch, who bewitched Fiang, he would have attacked his brother, me. I'm going to kill you. The locked man didn't even have an iron hand on his scapula, and roared as he rushed towards the newcomer. It's a futile struggle, but you brothers are indeed very affectionate. I tell you the truth, Huangfu Fiang has been poisoned by my soul powder, and he has long been no longer the same Huangfu Fiang. You, hearing what Defei said, the locked Huangfu Yunsheng's eyes turned red, and the whole person was like a madman. If the ancestor knew, he would definitely kill you, Huangfu Yunsheng growled. When Huangfu Yunsheng heard about the ancestor of the Huangfu family, the originally calm Defei became ferocious, her figure suddenly changed, and she appeared in front of Huangfu Yunsheng, raising her hand. She grabbed his throat. That old man took advantage of my misfortune and humiliated me. He imprisoned me in the back mountain and made me his concubine. If Huangfu Fiang hadn't found me, I would still be trapped in the back mountain, but it's a bit difficult for him to come out, because I passed on to him the heavenly demon slaughtering God Heart Sutra, that the leader couldn't fully comprehend back then. I think he should have gone crazy in the cave now. And he can't care about your Huangfu family's affairs at all. As the concubine spoke, her expression recovered, and her face regained its previous beauty. The hand holding Huangfu Yunsheng's neck slowly loosened. Tomorrow Huangfu Fiang will become the head of the Huangfu family, and then I will be able to control the entire Huangfu family, the concubine said coldly. Even if I'm not here, Fiang can't sit in the position of head of the family. Huangfu Science's reputation in the family is higher than Fiang's. The elders in the family will not choose Fiang, Huangfu Yunsheng said coldly. The elders, a bunch of old things, if they don't agree, I will send them to death one by one, The cold murderous intent in the eyes of the defied revealed. As long as I completely control the Huangfu family, I will let Huangfu Fiang sneak attack that old guy and send him to death, but Huangfu Yunshen, you won't have a chance to see it. After saying this, the defied walked out of the dungeon. Outside the dungeon, a woman in black came forward. My lord, this Huangfu Yunshen is no longer useful. Why don't you kill him first? He is the head of the Huangfu family. I am afraid that there are some things that only he knows. Keep him first. You have to keep an eye on this person and don't make any mistakes, the defied ordered. Huangfu Shiant, where is he now? He can rush back to the Huangfu family tomorrow. There is another person who returned with him. We found out that the other party is Zizia Feng from the Qinglong Society, the person said in a deep voice. Zizia Feng who defeated Huangfu Shiants with one sword. I didn't expect that they could become friends. Tomorrow we can meet the sword master of the Qinglong Society, Zizia Feng, said Defei in a deep voice. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 903, The Purpose of Yan Ruiyu. The Capital. Xianfang Temple. In the meditation room of Master Xianmi. The sandalwood incense curled up, bringing a sense of tranquility. Master Xianmi was sitting cross-legged on the monk's couch. Not far from him, an old man sat on a sandalwood chair, his expression a little solemn. It was Hua Pingsheng, the third elder of the Eternal Life Society. Brother, Zhu Pingsheng personally took action and took Yan Ruiyu away. I'm afraid we are not safe here, Hua Pingsheng said with some concern. It doesn't matter. Yan Ruiyu doesn't know my identity. The only one who knows my identity is Gongsun Mingjing, who is now dead. When I absorbed the blood of the seventh prince, I felt a trace of the blood of the imperial family. I believe that as long as I absorb a few more people, I should be able to condense a drop of blood, Master Xianmi said here, his eyes flashing with brilliance. When the third elder Hua Pingsheng heard this, his originally solemn expression changed instantly, revealing a happy expression. Then brother, find a few more princes to devour their blood, Hua Pingsheng said. Back then, I targeted some unappreciated princes and devoured their blood essence, but I didn't find anything. I guess the only ones with a trace of the emperor's bloodline are the 9 princes, who were previously selected by the Zhou emperor to rule, Xianmi said. If that's the case, Zhu Pingsheng might have made some arrangements. It might be difficult for you to succeed again, senior brother, Hua Pingsheng frowned. Did Zhu Pingsheng want to find me? As long as there is a trace, I think he will chase after me. There are some idle princes around the capital. These people are brothers with the Zhou emperor. You said they are in trouble. Does Zhu Pingsheng think I am taking action? As long as he leaves the capital, I will have a chance to take action. This will also give Zhu Pingsheng less time to track me, Xianmi said. Brother, have you found the next target to take action? 5th Prince Liu Hong, although he is one of the 9 princes, has never had a sense of existence. He is my next target. When Xianmi said this, a red light flashed in his eyes. Brother, when should I start? Hua Pingsheng said. Tonight, we will start against Prince Rui Liu Tong in Qian Villa outside the capital. He has a close relationship with Emperor Zhou, Xianmi said. Okay, I'll go and prepare first. Hua Pingsheng nodded and turned to leave the Zen room. Not long after Hua Pingsheng left, 2 figures walked in from outside the Zen room. One of them was a scholar wearing brocade clothes, with a slender figure and fair face. He held a white bone jade fan in his hand. His every move revealed a noble and elegant aura. Next to the scholar, there was a monk with a fierce look. The monk looked fierce and fierce, wearing a yellow cassock, with a half-naked chest and a bronze body. On his chest hung a huge rosary. Each rosary was the size of an 8-year-old child's fist, and looked extremely extraordinary. Hello, master, the 2 saluted to Xianmi at the same time. Today, Hua Pingsheng will attack Liu Tong. If something unexpected happens, he will not be allowed to leave Qian Villa alive. However, he can die, but you need to bring his body back, Master Xianmi ordered. Yes, master, the scholar in brocade clothes said. Go, Master Xianmi nodded. Replacing Master Xianmi, Gu Xianhun has secretly controlled all the masters of Xianfang Temple. Not only the masters of Feng Temple are controlled, but he also controls some other masters. The palace. You mean, only Gongsun Mingjing has seen Gu Xianhun? Zhu Pingsheng looked at Yan Ruiyu and said gloomily. I came to the capital because I received the news from Gongsun Mingjing. The order I received was actually to kill the traitors of the Changsheng society. If it was to kill the royal family, I would not come to the capital, Yan Ruiyu replied. Master Yan, please don't tell me these things. You are a smart person, and smart people often guess something. I think you should guess something. Of course, if you don't know anything, then you are of no value. Let me have another puppet in the secret dungeon of Xianjianxi. Zhu Pingsheng looked at Yan Ruiyu calmly. Hearing Zhu Pingsheng's words, Yan Ruiyu's heart trembled. There was an idea in her mind, that is, to kidnap Zhu Pingsheng, but she quickly put out this idea. Although Zhu Pingsheng stood there was no breath on his body, but he gave her a great sense of threat. She began to think in her mind. I want to find a clue. Maybe we can look for it from Gongsun Mingjing's recent traces, Yan Ruiyu said thoughtfully. Is this the only clue about Gongsun Mingjing's traces? Hearing Yan Ruiyu's words, Zhu Pingsheng raised his eyebrows slightly. When he brought Yan Ruiyu and the others back, he began to send people to investigate Gongsun Mingjing's traces. I believe there will be an answer soon. How many times have you come into contact with Gu Xianhun in the capital? Zhu Pingsheng looked at Yan Ruiyu and said. Only once, but he was also wearing a mask and a black robe when he met us. I can't guarantee that it was really Gu Xianhun I saw at that time, Yan Ruiyu said. You are his disciple, you have seen his face, but why did he guard so tightly when meeting you? Is he afraid of leaking any useful information? Hearing Yan Ruiyu's words, Zhu Pingsheng's eyes moved slightly. The more cautious a person is, the more he will cover up everything. Cover up. If he covers up, then there must be something about him that will be noticed. Did you notice anything special? Zhu Pingsheng said. Special place? Yan Ruiyu frowned and shook her head and said, I didn't pay too much attention at the time. I need to think about it carefully. Master Zhu, I will think of it as soon as possible. Really? Think about it carefully. I will find you tomorrow. Take her down, Zhu Pingsheng ordered. A figure walked out of the hall and came in front of Yan Ruiyu. Yan Ruiyu was taken out of the hall by the visitor. Keep it to yourself? It seems that you know something? If you don't tell me tomorrow morning, then you will be worthless. Zhu Pingsheng's eyes turned cold. Xianjianxi Underground Prison. Many martial arts masters are imprisoned. Some of these people have sufficient blood and energy, while others are skinny. Yan Ruiyu was taken into a cell. The person who came locked the cell door and turned away. Yan Ruiyu looked at the dim cell, and a gleam of light flashed in the depths of her eyes. She walked to the corner of the cell and sat cross-legged. When she sat down, a dark, tiny worm crawled out of her body and quickly left her cell. This tiny worm left the dungeon, circled in place for a while, and quickly went to a cell deep in the dungeon. There was a 10-centimeter long and 5-centimeter wide opening in that cell. The dark, tiny worm quickly crawled into the opening. In this dungeon, an old man with disheveled hair and only skin on his body sat cross-legged in the middle, with his head down. Suddenly, the old man sensed something, and a gleam of light flashed in his cloudy eyes. He looked towards the tiny insect that crawled in. Chapter 904, Huanfu Fiang is strong, Huanfu Science is suppressed. Xianjianxi Murin Qingzhen's palace, is there any news from Master Zhu? Did you get anything out of Yan Ruiyu? Murin Qingzhen looked at Chu Linger and said. I have already gone to ask. Master Zhu said that Yan Ruiyu has not asked any useful clues for the time being, Chu Linger replied. No, Murin Qing couldn't help but frown. Now that Gu Xianhun has attacked the prince, he will attack again after the first time. The opponent's strength and the power of soul control, weak people can't avoid the opponent's soul attack at all. So it is necessary to find out as soon as possible. Master Zhu, you don't want to contact Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. You must be afraid of Xianaya Pavilion behind Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. Master Zhu transferred so much information about Xianaya Pavilion and King Longhu before. You should be investigating them. Your Highness, we'd better not have too much contact with Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower, for the time being, Chu Linger said on the side. I know my limits when it comes to contacting Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. You continue to pay attention to the situation of Master Zhu, and inform me immediately if there is any news, Murin Qingzhen ordered. Yes, Your Highness. Chu Linger bowed and left the palace. The storm is coming, Murin Qingzhen murmured after Chu Linger left. Although the Great Zhou dynasty was also turbulent before, the royal family members were not killed so blatantly. The emergence of this phenomenon indicates that the power of the royal family has been challenged. If time goes on, the turmoil will begin. Master Zhu, if you still don't have any clues tomorrow, I will go to Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower in person and discuss with Bai Chaofei, Muren Qingchen said in her heart. She will not let this matter drag on for too long. Jian and Huangfu family. Today is extremely lively. Huangfu Yanchen, the head of the Huangfu family, disappeared. Huangfu Fiaying, the first master of the Huangfu family, summoned the elders of the Huangfu family together. In the center of the main hall, there is a large purple gold plaque hanging. Below, the elders of the major branches of the Huangfu family sat on both sides of the hall. On the left sat a middle-aged man in a brocade robe, with eyes like blades and a burly figure. His two wide and slender hands were pressing on the armrests, and his aura was surging. It was Huangfu Fiaying, the number one master of the Huangfu family. The head of the family is missing, and the Huangfu family cannot be without a head for a day. Today, I have summoned all the elders to come here to inform you that I will temporarily take over the position of the head of the family. Huangfu Fiaying stood up and said. Fiaying, the head of the family is in trouble, and the Huangfu family needs someone to take charge, but the candidate for the temporary head of the family needs to be selected by the elders according to the ancestral precepts. At this time, an elder spoke up. Elder Bachuan, do you mean that I, Huangfu Fiaying, cannot temporarily take over the position of the head of the family? My strength is second only to the ancestor. Huangfu Fiaying's eyebrows were like knives, and his eyes looked at the elder who spoke. As he spoke, a terrifying aura, like a tide, swept towards the elder who spoke. Huangfu Fiaying, although your strength is second only to the ancestor, you can't sit on the throne of the Huangfu family just because you are strong. The elder who spoke said under the pressure of Huangfu Fiaying. Humph, hearing this, Huangfu Fiaying snorted coldly and looked at the other elders in the hall. I wonder what the other elders think, Huangfu Fiaying said. At this moment, Huangfu Fiaying exuded a strong aura like a mountain. As soon as this aura appeared, a domineering aura burst out from him. This domineering aura appeared very quickly. Everyone immediately felt that Huangfu Fiaying was like a majestic peak piercing the sky, pressing down on everyone with a momentum that covered the sky and the sun. The shoulders of the people in the hall sank, and an invisible gravity immediately pressed on them, as if to break their spines. I am not discussing with you, but telling you, Huangfu Fiaying said coldly. I agree that Fiaying will become the acting head of the Huangfu family. Now that the world is turbulent, it is most appropriate for a Fiaying to become the head of my Huangfu family. At this time, an elder spoke. After the elder spoke, Huangfu Fiaying restrained his breath. I also agree that Fiaying will become the acting head of the family. When Huangfu Fiaying restrained his breath, another elder spoke. The two spoke. Several elders in the hall spoke again, agreeing that Huangfu Fiaying should temporarily take over the position of head of the family. Since everyone has no objection, I will temporarily take over the position of head of the family from today. Huangfu Fiaying went directly to the chair under the purple gold plaque in the hall. That was the chair of the head of the Huangfu family. Wait, at this time, a voice appeared outside the hall. Huangfu Shiyan stepped in. Seeing Huangfu Shiyan, the elders in the hall brightened up. Huangfu Shiyan's prestige in the Huangfu family was much stronger than Huangfu Fiaying. Huangfu Shiyan, you were defeated by Zizaya Feng of the Qinggong Club, with one sword, which brought shame to a Huangfu family. What qualifications do you have to return to a Huangfu family? If I were you, I should now reflect on my mistakes, concentrate on practicing, and find Zizaya Feng to avenge the sword. Huangfu Fiaying looked at the Huangfu Shiyan who appeared and said coldly. You? Huangfu Shiyan's face changed when he heard Huangfu Fiaying's words. But he was indeed defeated by Zizaya Feng with one sword. Winning and losing in the martial arts world is a common thing. No one can be undefeated in life. Huangfu Fiaying, the head of the family, disappeared in the Huangfu family. This matter is suspicious. The head of the family has not been found yet, and you want to temporarily take over the position of the head of the Huangfu family. What is your intention? Huangfu Shiyan adjusted his mood and said, Are you doubting me? Huangfu Shiyan, you are too presumptuous, dare to slander me. Hearing Huangfu Shiyan's words, Huangfu Fiaying was furious, and the whole person suddenly became like an angry lion. Boom! Huangfu Fiaying took a step forward, and his aura surged. Huangfu Shiyan trembled all over. His own strength was not as good as Huangfu Fiaying, Not to mention that he was injured by Zhi Feng's sword some time ago. For a while, his whole body was bent, and his heart was a little breathless. Immediately circulated the qi in his body, but when his qi was running, Huangfu Shiance took another step, and his qi increased again, and a more fierce pressure fell on Huangfu Shiance. For a moment, the whole hall trembled suddenly. A trace of cold sweat appeared on Huangfu Shiance's forehead. At this time, Huangfu Shiance roared, and a flame appeared on his body. Kneel down. Huangfu Fiang saw this and a trace of cold light appeared in his eyes. He took another step forward. Boom. Suddenly, the rolling energy was like 1,000 layers of waves, covering the flame energy of Huangfu Shiance, trying to shatter the flame energy on Huangfu Shiance's body. However, under the pressure of this breath, the flame energy formed a series of whirlpools, which rejected the pressure and dissolved it. Huangfu Fiang was stunned when he saw this. He didn't expect that Huangfu Shiance could actually dissolve his attack. Chapter 905, Poisoning, Slander, Zhi Feng takes action. I didn't expect you to have some skills, but you shouldn't come back. If you don't come back, you still have a chance to live, but if you come back, you can only die. Huangfu Fiang suddenly became cold and stern. What did you say? Huangfu Shiance heard this, his expression changed, and he said sternly. You poisoned the elders of the Huangfu family, shouldn't you die? Huangfu Fiang said. While he was speaking, his eyes looked at some elders in the hall, puff. At this time, the elders in the hall, who had not agreed with Huangfu Fiang to temporarily take over the position of the head of the family, spurted out a stream of black blood from their mouths. Then they fell to the ground. Huangfu Shiance's face changed drastically when he saw this scene. Huangfu Fiang, you dare to poison the elders, Huangfu Shiance said in a low voice. Huangfu Shiance, these elders died at your hands, what does it have to do with me? Huangfu Fiang said coldly. You framed me. It seems that you are waiting for me to come back. Yeah, I don't think those assassins can kill you. If they can't kill you, you will find out their identities and rush back immediately. Your whereabouts have always been under my control. Otherwise, why would I take over the position of the head of the family today? Huangfu Fiang said. Why do you want to do this? The head of the family treats you well. Where is the head of the family now? Huangfu Shiance asked sternly. He treats me well, but I want to be the head of the Huangfu family. If you want to see him, I will send you to see him. Huangfu Fiang moved. The whole person rushed out in an instant, and the powerful true energy in his body burst out instantly and condensed on his palm. He slapped Huangfu Shiance fiercely. The true energy in his palm rolled, bringing gusts of wind. Red flame hand, Huangfu Shiance's eyes were solemn, but he did not dodge. He slapped out with his palm, and the flame energy in his palm flowed, turning into a red flame palm, heading towards the palm that slapped. Bang! The two forces collided, and Huangfu Shiance was shocked and stepped back several steps. It seems that you are seriously injured by Zhi Feng's sword. Now your energy has not fully recovered. Don't make a meaningless struggle. Huangfu Fiang looked at Huangfu Shiance and said coldly. Huangfu Shiance's strength was second only to him before. Normally, he would have to spend some effort to take down Huangfu Shiance. But now Huangfu Shiance can't compete with him. At this time, in the Huangfu family, in front of Zhi Feng stood a woman in a purple long skirt. The woman had a graceful figure and a unique charm, which made people unable to move their eyes away from her. It was the defied. The demon sect, the Demo sect master defied, greets you. The defied burst out her name. The demon sect's earth concubine, Huangfu Fiang's wife, Zhi Feng was slightly startled when he heard the name the other party called out. He had also received some news about the demon sect recently. After all, the heaven concubine was born and destroyed the Muring family, shocking the entire martial arts world. The names of the demon sect's heaven and earth concubines were mentioned again. Please don't get involved in the affairs of the Huangfu family. The earth concubine looked at Zhi Feng and said. It seems that you are waiting for Huangfu Shiance to come back? Those dead soldiers actually let Huangfu Shiance sense that something happened in the Huangfu family and rushed back. Zhi Feng looked at the earth concubine and said. You can say that. The earth concubine did not deny it. The heaven and earth concubines are indeed not simple, but I, Zhi Feng, always do things according to my heart. I want to take Huangfu Shiance away, Zhi Feng said calmly. The moment he spoke, his figure jumped towards the lobby. The earth concubine did not make a move to stop him. Let Zhi Feng go? Empress D, this Zizia Feng is too arrogant. He wants to get involved in the affairs of the Huangfu family. If he participates, Huangfu Fiang may not be able to deal with Huangfu Shiants. After Zizia Feng left, an old man in a gray robe appeared beside the concubine D and said in a deep voice, "Humph, since Zizia Feng wants to participate, it's just right. Huangfu Shiants colluded with Zizia Feng of the Qinglong Society, and was killed by the ancestor of the Huangfu family. It has nothing to do with us. Induce the 7 idol crazy powder on that old guy. I really want to see how powerful the ancestor of the Huangfu family is." The eyes of the concubine D flashed with cold light. Yes, the old man bowed and left. The concubine D went to the lobby of the Huangfu family. At this moment, in the lobby, bang! Huangfu Shiance's body was hid on the wall. Blood spurted out of his mouth. Half kneeling on the ground. Not far away, Huangfu Fiang had a cold face. "You dare to oppose me with such strength?" Huangfu Fiang walked towards Huangfu Shiance. "Huangfu Fiang, you betrayed the Huangfu family. You deserve to die. The ancestor will definitely kill you when he finds out." Divine power, red flame sky fire, Huangfu Shiance shouted, and a hot flame aura spread out of his body. The true energy in his body was flowing rapidly. He wanted to fight to the death. Even if he died, he would severely injure Huangfu Fiang. Red flame sky destruction, Huangfu Shiance shouted, and his body flew into the air and slapped out. The hot flame in his palm formed a firestorm. For a moment, the whole courtyard seemed to have entered the flame mountain. Death struggle, divine power, angry sea whale wave, angry sea shocking wave fist, boom. Huangfu Fiang punched out. A raging wave appeared above his fist, suppressing all the flaming aura, and the fist turned into a wave and collided with a palm. Bang! The flaming true energy that Huangfu Shiance burst out was directly shattered under this fist. And this fist force did not stop at all, and went towards Huangfu Shiance. Huangfu Shiance's blood and qi were shaken and rolled, and the blood in his throat was about to spurt out again, but he suppressed the surging blood and qi. His palm suddenly changed. All the previous surging qi and energy were collected back into his body, and his palm instantly slapped out 9 palms in a row. These 9 palms were extremely fast, and formed a series of qi and energy that hit Huangfu Fiang's fist. The power on Huangfu Fiang's fist was actually shaken off by these 9 slaps. Huangfu Fiang's face moved slightly, and he looked at Huangfu Shiance. "Where did you learn this technique?" Huangfu Fiang asked sternly. "This is my latest understanding," Huangfu Shiance shouted. His dark eyes became sharp. "White tiger true fire palm, boom." Huangfu Shiance punched out. A red tiger roared on his fist, and it enveloped Huangfu Fiang with terrifying murderous aura. Puff! A mouthful of blood spurted out. Huangfu Shiance also spurted out a mouthful of blood after throwing this punch, and his face turned extremely pale. Seeing this blow, Huangfu Fiang's eyes turned cold, and he raised his fist again, punched out, and the true energy on his fist condensed like a meteor. Boom! The two forces collided, and the red tiger full of evil spirit was broken under Huangfu Fiang's fist. Huangfu Fiang smashed the attack of Huangfu Shiance with one blow, stepped on the ground, raised his hand into a claw, and grabbed Huangfu Shiance's head with one claw. After Huangfu Shiance's blow, his energy and spirit were exhausted, and he could no longer attack. He could only watch the falling palm. Ling. At this moment, a long sword appeared under the palm. There was no sword energy on the long sword. But Huangfu Fiang's expression changed, and he immediately retracted his palm, not daring to let it fall, and looked at Zizia Feng, who appeared in front of Huangfu Shiance with a serious look. Chapter 906, Sword kills Huangfu Fiang, the mad ancestor of the Huangfu family. Zizia Feng, you want to take care of my Huangfu family's affairs. Huangfu Fiang looked at Zizia Feng holding a sword with a cold look in his eyes, and he was extremely afraid in his heart. There was no sword energy fluctuation on the opponent's sword just now, just like the long sword in the hands of an ordinary warrior, but his heart was throbbing. He felt that as long as his palm fell, his palm might be cut off by the sword. Your sword? Huangfu Fiang looked at the long sword in Zizia Feng's hand. At this moment, the sword was sheathed and looked very ordinary. Huangfu Shiance, I will take him away, what do you think? Zizia Feng looked at Huangfu Fiang and said. Take Huangfu Shiance away, Zizia Feng, this is our Huangfu family's business, you, King Longhu, are meddling in it. Huangfu Fiang would never let Huangfu Shiance leave. If you think so, there is no problem. Zhi Feng's tone was very calm. Seeing Zhi Feng's calm expression, Huangfu's flying eagle eyes became cold and ferocious. I want to see what you, Zhi Feng, have the ability to say such a thing, Huangfu Fiang growled. Waves of blue appeared on his burly body, and these waves formed a terrifying blue air wave, which enveloped Zhi Feng. Sensing the air wave sweeping over, Zhi Feng looked very calm, and the long sword in his hand was unsheathed. There was no earth-shattering sword energy. He just slashed with a long sword. The aura that enveloped him was instantly split into two. Then it dissipated into nothingness. Seeing this scene, Huangfu Fiang's eyes condensed. His own energy was broken by the opponent's long sword. This is a little unlikely. The Defei who followed saw this situation, her eyes narrowed. This Zhi Feng's swordsmanship is a bit scary. Returning to the original, the swordsmanship is long, holding a sword. Without a sword, the sword energy is everywhere, but the opponent has no sword energy, just a sword. It looks like an ordinary sword, but it bursts out with terrifying power. This Zhi Feng's strength may have surpassed the level of concentration in the sea. The Defei's eyes narrowed. Then I will use my power to crush you. Seeing this, Huangfu Fiang roared. All the ki in his body poured into his body, and his upper robe was torn, revealing his brown skin. His body bulged, like a terrifying giant mountain, and punched Zhi Feng. There was no ki, only fists. The speed and power of the fist were terrifying. Colliding with the air made a crackling sound. Zhi Feng slashed a long sword in his hand again. Bang! The long sword collided with Huangfu Fiang's fist. Bang! Huangfu Fiang only felt a terrifying force appearing on his fist, and then the whole person was shocked by this blow and flew backwards. He was hit and flew back into the lobby. Bang! The whole lobby shook. Die? I want you to die. But then a figure shot out from the lobby. The fist in his hand rushed towards Zhi Feng fiercely. Zhi Feng's expression did not change. He raised the long sword in his hand and slashed again. Just when Zhi Feng slashed out with a long sword, Huangfu Fiang suddenly changed his fist into a claw, bent his body, and grabbed Zhi Feng's heart with his palm at an extremely fast speed. He wanted to avoid the long sword in Zhi Feng's hand. But when his palm was about to grab Zhi Feng's heart, Zhi Feng's long sword appeared in front of his palm. Bang! The long sword swung. Huangfu Fiang's palm was swept away by the long sword. Swept away by a sword. Zhi Feng suddenly moved, and his figure appeared in front of Huangfu Fiang like a ghost. The long sword in his hand chopped down like a bladeless sword. Bang! 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 3 consecutive sword strikes. Huangfu Fiang spurted out 3 mouthfuls of blood in succession, and most of the energy in his body was dispersed. He looked at Zhi Feng with an unbelievable look. Bang! Zhi Feng chopped out with a sword again. Huangfu Fiang was chopped and flew out, hitting the wall, and blood flowed out of his mouth desperately. Your strength, how can you be so strong? Huangfu Fiang looked at Zhi Feng. The opponent did not burst out too much sword energy. He was just chopped by the long sword, and he was seriously injured. He had mocked Huangfu Science before, but was defeated by Zhi Feng's sword. Now he is exactly the same as Huangfu Science. Zhi Feng's sword is too terrifying. Brother Science, you can handle it yourself next. Zhi Feng retracted his long sword. Standing aside, he said to Huangfu Science, I will destroy his martial arts and take him to see the ancestor in person. Huangfu Science stood up and looked at Huangfu Fiang. Zijianzhen, do you really want to get involved in the affairs of the Huangfu family? At this time, Defei came out from the dark. Looking at Zhi Feng, he said, Brother Science will handle the affairs of the Huangfu family, and I am not involved. Zhi Feng said. It seems that Zijianzhen will not listen to good advice, and there is nothing we can do about it. Defei sighed. When she sighed, boom! Suddenly, a thunder-like sound came from not far away. With the appearance of this thunderous sound, a terrifying aura rushed from not far away. In a blink of an eye, an old man with disheveled hair, white hair, and a slightly uneven look in his eyes appeared in the courtyard. The aura on his body was terrifying, and the air around him seemed to be gathered and went towards the other person's body. The old man's concave and convex eyes were flashing with red light, staring at Zhi Feng fiercely, and his aura was extremely unstable. Ancestor, seeing the old man appear, Huangfu Science shouted immediately. But the old man didn't care about Huangfu Science. but stared at Zizia Feng fiercely. "You dare to attack my Huangfu family, kill!" Before the voice fell, the body was already heading towards Zizia Feng. Seeing this, Zizia Feng's eyes flashed coldly. He slashed with a long sword in his hand. The sword collided with the opponent's fist. Boom! Where the fist and the palm collided, the air collapsed, forming a vacuum area. The two figures retreated at the same time. Zizia Feng's eyes condensed. The ancestor of the Huangfu family appeared, and he came towards him as soon as he appeared. His eyes couldn't help but look at the concubine on the side. The concubine looked at Zizia Feng calmly. Heavenly demon killing god palm. At this moment, the ancestor of the Huangfu family roared. The figure shot out again, and his palm went towards Zizia Feng. Zizia Feng's pupils shrank slightly. This Huangfu family ancestor might have been in trouble. Boom! The long sword slashed out and collided with the opponent's palm. The terrifying Qijin was all shattered, and the longsword and the opponent's palm were in a stalemate. At this moment, the aura of the Huangfu family ancestor began to change, and a very amazing Qi fluctuation swept out from the Huangfu family ancestor. This power exceeds the concentration of the sea. Zizia Feng's expression changed. Behind Zizia Feng, Huangfu Science's face also changed drastically. Boom! At this time, the Shineman appeared again in the sky. However, when the Shineman appeared, an invisible Qijin appeared above the hall. The Shineman seemed to be blocked for a while. "Stay in the void." Lin Chen as the power broke through, the Huangfu family ancestor shouted. An even more terrifying power erupted from his body. Chapter 907, The Invincible Sword, King Liu's Plan. Double power changes. The horrible power fluctuations caused the surrounding air pressure to rise dozens of times in an instant. Some people found it difficult to breathe. The ancestor of the Huangfu family stared at Zizia Feng with red eyes, his face extremely ferocious. "Dare to attack my Huangfu family, I want you to die, die!" The ancestor of the Huangfu family roared. He took a step forward, and a terrifying aura of the devil permeated his body. Over the years, he practiced a heavenly demon-killing god heart sutra that he got from the earth concubine. His mind was eroded by the devil's energy. Under the erosion of the devil's energy, he was poisoned by the earth concubine, and the whole person had gone crazy. Just now, someone had imprinted Zizia Feng's figure into his mind. This person wanted to destroy the Huangfu family, so his only goal now was to kill Zizia Feng. "Zizia Feng, you are very strong, but I don't believe that you can still win under this situation." The cold light in the eyes of the earth concubine on the side. Looking at the situation in the field. "Demon, god-killing spear," the ancestor of the Huangfu family roared, and the devil's energy rolled in his palm. These evil spirits condensed into a black spear in his palm. The evil spirit on the spear was surging. It covered Zizia Feng like an overwhelming force. "Kill!" The black spear in the hands of the ancestor of the Huangfu family came out in an instant, carrying rolling evil spirits, corroding everything and heading towards Zizia Feng. Zizia Feng's eyes became solemn, and his aura also changed at this moment, affecting Xianmen. That is to say, he can also burst out all his strength. Boom! The power on his body continued to rise. The terrifying power shattered all the aura that swept over him. With a move of his body, the longsword in his hand came out and collided with a black spear that hit him. Boom! The sword light collided with a long sword, making a rumbling sound, and the air wave rolled immediately. The black spear was shattered, and the long sword was intact, but Zizia Feng's hand holding the long sword moved slightly. The opponent burst out with all his strength, and the power of the body was very terrifying. The opponent failed to hide him with one blow. The figure rushed over violently, and his fists rushed over like a black rainstorm. The longsword in Zizia Feng's hand danced. The falling fist could not touch Zizia Feng. Seeing this scene, the face of the concubine changed. She had never expected that in this situation. Zizia Feng was fully capable of fighting with the ancestor of the Huangfu family, and his aura was not affected at all. His eyes turned. He looked up at the Shineman in the sky. A gleam of brilliance flashed across his mouth. "Since you want to meddle in other people's business, then die with the ancestor of the Huangfu family." She formed a seal with her palms, and a stream of energy flowed out. Boom! The invisible energy that appeared earlier suddenly shattered. Boom! The power of the Shineman in the void surged, thunder filled the world, and the terrifying power enveloped the entire void. For a moment, the world became dim. Huang Fushian saw this situation, his eyes condensed. Zizia Feng, who was fighting, changed his expression. But the ancestor of the Huangfu family, his face did not change at all, and he just ignored the thunder in the sky and attacked Zizia Feng madly. Divine power, sword. Zizia Feng's divine power was very ordinary, just a sword, so his divine power did not appear in a phantom. His sword was the god, the invincible. Bang! The divine power appeared, and the sword was slashed out. The madly attacking Huangfu family ancestor was slashed by the sword and flew backwards. Boom! At this time, two thunders fell. One was towards Zizia Feng, and the other was towards the ancestor of the Huangfu family. Seeing this, Zizia Feng's expression changed, and the long sword in his hand fell out of his hand, and the long sword went towards the thunder. Bang! The long sword broke under the thunder, and Zizia Feng spurted out a mouthful of blood. When the blood spurted out, he sucked his palm, and a long sword on the ground was caught in his hand. His figure leaped and appeared next to the phantom of the Xianmen. Swish! The long sword slashed out, and the phantom of the Xianmen disappeared with a bang. As for the figure of the ancestor of the Huangfu family, it was instantly turned into a ball of blood mist under the thunder. Floating in the air, Zizia Feng, who had slashed through the Xianmen, landed on the ground, and all his aura was restrained. Kill! At this moment, Huangfu Fiang seemed to have found an opportunity and rushed towards Zizia Feng. Just when he was close to Zizia Feng swung the long sword in his hand and slashed it out. The sword light instantly appeared in front of him. Huangfu Fiang's body was split into two. At this time, he didn't need to hold back and looked in the direction where Defei appeared before. At this moment, Defei's figure had disappeared. When Zizia Feng shattered the heaven gate with a sword, Defei had already left. Slash the heaven gate with a sword, it's just an ordinary sword. Zizia Feng's strength is so terrifying, but this time he slashed the heaven gate with a sword. The next time he uses his strength, he can only leave. It's worth it. Defei appeared in the dungeon of the Huangfu family. Something went wrong. Take Huangfu Yansheng away. Maybe he can still be my chess piece, Defei said to the woman guarding the dungeon. The Defei and the woman walked into the dungeon, knocked Huangfu Yansheng unconscious, and took Huangfu Yansheng away from the Huangfu family from another part of the dungeon. As long as Huangfu Yansheng is in hand, he can be used to frame Huangfu Xians later. At this time, another place. Huan Aerial Yu Palace. The Liu King, dressed in brocade, looked solemn. Recently, his Liu Palace has been in trouble. People often poison him, and the means of poisoning are extremely strange. If he is not careful, he will be poisoned. If he hadn't got a Shiangsu ice toad on him many years ago, he would probably have been poisoned and seriously injured. Haven't you found the person who attacked our Liu Palace yet? Liu King looked at the housekeeper in front of him and said, Your Majesty, there is no discovery. The other party's poison is too powerful, but the person sent by the South China Sea General Wang Duguwei said to me that if we cooperate with him, he will send the Wandu Zian Wang from the Wandu Island in the South China Sea, the housekeeper said in a deep voice. Is Duguwei no longer hiding his ambitions? Liu King said in a deep voice after hearing this. That's right, they also said they can form an alliance with us, the housekeeper continued to say. For this matter, you continue to contact them and say that I agree with his proposal, but I want him to help me get rid of the people who plotted against me, King Liu said in a deep voice. My lord, are we going to place a bet now? The housekeeper couldn't help but say, the seventh prince is in trouble, and our connection with the royal family is cut off. Now that the martial arts world is changing, someone has already taken action against the royal family, which means that the Liu family can no longer shake the martial arts world, so we should also make more plans. Just contact them as I say, King Liu said. Since you are cooperating with Dugu for me, then I can't just limit myself to the Huaiyan area, we have to secretly take over the Tingzhou area too. What are the changes in the Tingzhou area now? King Liu said. It is rumored that people from the Qinglong Society appeared in the Tingzhou area, but there is no movement. However, I don't know what happened to the Xianhuan sect in the Tingzhou area. The original leader suddenly gave up his position and the new leader took over, inviting the other 12 leaders to participate in the ceremony of the new leader, the housekeeper said on the side. Xianhuan sect? Tell Luo Junshi to go to Xianhuan sect and secretly subdue Xianhuan sect, and we can also open a gap in Tingzhou area. In this way, we can gain more benefits when cooperating with Duguwei for me. Of course, I also want him to see my strength. After so many years of silence, it's time to make a move, King Liu said. I will send a pigeon to Luo Junshi and ask him to take action, said the butler. Chapter 908, The Earth Concubine returns, controls Huangfu Science, and plots against Zi Xiaofeng. We also need to investigate the person who attacked us. There must be a reason for his sudden disappearance. Maybe he is planning something. Since he is not showing up now, let's see if we can lure him out. It just so happens that we need to cooperate with Dugu, so we will gather all the forces in Huaiyan area to gather together. At that time, my substitute will appear. I think they will not miss such an opportunity. Don't poisoners like such scenes, King Liu said. I understand. The housekeeper bowed and left the hall. Gate of resentment. In a courtyard, Kui Wu looked at the wing room from time to time. After the 5 poison boy got a drop of poisonous blood from the body of the evil poison body, he began to fuse this drop of poisonous blood. This is also the reason why there have been no more accidents in the palace of King Liu in recent times. I don't know when the 5 poison boy will be able to complete his training. Without the help of the 5 poison boy, it is difficult to cause trouble to King Liu, Kui Wu said with a sigh. As he sighed, Liu Liking, dressed in palace clothes, walked in from outside the courtyard. Has the 5 poison boy not come out of retreat yet? Liu Liking asked. Not yet? I don't dare to go in either, Kui Wu. As long as you get close to the door of the wing room, all living things will turn into a ball of black smoke in an instant. When the 5 poison boy warned him before, he was a little bit unconvinced, but later he caught a live chicken and brought it close to the door of the wing room. It died tragically in an instant and turned into a ball of black mist and disappeared. I got the news that the housekeeper of King Liu is in contact with someone, and I haven't found out the identity of that person yet, Liu Liking said. Contacting someone? Is he contacting someone at this time to find us? Kui Wu said in a deep voice. Now the Huaiyan area has been causing trouble for King Liu, and only he and the 5 poison boys are there. If King Liu is contacting someone, then he should be looking for someone to deal with him. Pay close attention and make sure to find out the other party's identity, Kui Wu said in a deep voice. I don't know why I've been feeling worried lately. Do you think I should ask young Dragon Chief for some help? Now that the Green Dragon Society is gaining momentum, as long as young Dragon Chief sends some people, we can destroy the Palace of Split Prince, Liu Liking said. Don't worry, we still have people in Huaiyan. I'll contact them, Kui Wu said. Are the people from the Green Dragon Society in Huaiyan? Hearing this, Liu Liking was slightly startled. His Excellency Yan Shizhen, one of the 10 great sword masters, and Song Lun Hu of the Way of Samsara, are also the helmsmen of our Green Dragon Society, Kui Wu said. What? Liu Liking was shocked when she heard this. She was not very surprised that Yan Shizhen appeared here. She didn't expect that Song Lun Hu, a famous killer organization in Huaiyan and Tingzhou, was just a helmsman of the Green Dragon Society. But you don't have a position in the Green Dragon Society, will they help us? Liu Liking knew that Kui Wu was only loyal to young Dragon Chief. We don't need them to listen to us, just cooperate. That's Xiaolong Shou behind me. The 10 great sword masters will help me for Xiaolong Shou's sake. You don't have to worry about that. It's better to turn the investigation of the matter of the butler of King Lai Wu to Song Lun Hu. I'll find time to go and see Song Lun Hu, Kui Wu said after a moment of silence. If we investigate, we might be exposed and King Lai Wu will be suspicious. Just as they were talking, the door of the wing where the 5 poison boy was suddenly opened. The 5 poison boy walked out. His figure was still short, but his aura was more restrained. You have succeeded in your cultivation, Kui Wu said when he saw the 5 poison boy walk out. I have completed my cultivation. Now I will turn the entire King Lai Wu into a poison cave, the 5 poison boy said coldly. Master, at this time, a voice came from the courtyard. Come in, Liu Liking said. A woman in black walked in. Master, the Liu Palace is summoning the sects and forces in the Huaiyan area to gather at the Liu Palace in 5 days, the black-clothed woman said. Do you know what it is about? No notification has been given. I will go and find out, the black-clothed woman said. Yes, Liu Liking nodded. After the woman left. What do you think of this matter? Is this matter related to the person who contacted the Liu Palace before? Whether he is related or not, perhaps this is our chance to unify the Huaiyan area. I will contact the young Dragon Chief and ask him to come to help. By the way, during this period of time, We will control some of the leaders of the Jianghu forces who come to the Liu Palace. You go and find out the route of the people coming. We will give the Liu King a big gift." The 5 poison boys sneered. "Okay." Liu Liking left immediately. "This is a chance for us brothers to make achievements." The 5 poison boy looked at Kui Wuhu and said, "Yes, we will definitely be able to help the young dragon chief take over this Huaiyan area." Kui Wuhu nodded. Jiangnan King Liu is gathering the forces of the Jianghu in the Huaiyan area at this time. What is he trying to do? Su Chen received the information from the 5 poison boys, and his face showed doubt. The Huaiyan area is partly in the 2 river basins. Could it be that Duguay's people are contacting them? Yuan Suyin said. Hearing Yuan Suyin's words, is it really possible? Let Mr. Zhuge coordinate this matter and let him fully support the 5 poison boys, Su Chen ordered. Is there any information from the Huangfu family? The ancestor of the Huangfu family died after Lin Hao, and Zijianzhen sent a message that if he uses the power above the concentration of the sea again, he can only leave. Yuan Suyin said, this matter is a bit of a loss. Is Zia Feng still in the Huangfu family? Su Chen said. Zijianzhen, I was injured when I was fighting against Xianmen in Huangfu family. Zijianzhen plans to recuperate in Huangfu family during this time to see if he can pull Huangfu family into our Qinglong Club. Yuan Suyin said, it's not so easy for such an old family to be loyal to others. Su Chen shook his head. Many elders of Huangfu family have died now. They need help. Without help, Huangfu family may not be able to maintain Huangfu family with only Huangfu Shiants. Let's see first. Su Chen nodded. Huangfu family, in a side room. Huangfu Shiants adjusted his breath. Slowly walked out of the bed. A maid walked in from outside. Master, this is the nourishing soup you asked me to make just now. Okay. Huangfu Shiants nodded and picked up the soup handed over by the maid. When he drank the soup, the maid next to him suddenly raised her hand. 5 silver needles appeared between his 5 fingers, and they were inserted into Huangfu Shiants' head at lightning speed. The soup bowl in his hand shook and fell to the ground. But it was caught by a slender hand. The maid put the soup bowl on the table, wiped her face with her hand, and the face of the concubine D was revealed. The concubine D, who had just left, was a little unwilling. So she returned. Zizia Feng, I wonder if you can avoid Huangfu Shiants' sneak attack. The corner of the concubine D showed a sneer. Chapter 909 Negotiation. I want the entire Dafeng Temple. The capital. Xianjianxi, in Zhu Pingsheng's palace. Yan Ruiyu was taken out of the prison and came to Zhu Pingsheng. Last night, the palace of Prince Rui outside the capital was attacked, but Prince Rui was lucky. He took a fancy to prostitute last night and was not in the palace, so he escaped. Do you think it was Gu Xianhan who did it? Zhu Pingsheng looked at Yan Ruiyu and said. I don't know about this, but I calmed down last night and found a clue. When Gu Xianhan met us, he had a special smell on his body. Although he covered it up, I smelled it. You know that women are very sensitive to smells, Yan Ruiyu said. Really? Then I really want to know, what is that smell? Zhu Pingsheng said. That smell is the smell of sandalwood. It should be because he is often accompanied by sandalwood that this smell will remain around the body, Yan Ruiyu said. Sandalwood. Hearing Yan Ruiyu's words, Zhu Pingsheng's eyes moved slightly. Master Yan, this is good news. I hope you can recall some other details. I have arranged a guest room for you. Your disciples are already there. Zhu Pingsheng looked at Yan Ruiyu and said. Thank you, Master Zhu, I won't keep it. After all, Gu Xianhan also wants my life. His death is also a good thing for me, Yan Ruiyu said hurriedly. I hope you are telling the truth. Take Master Yan to the guest room, Zhu Pingsheng ordered. After Zhu Pingsheng left, a man in tight clothes walked in. Master, many people in the capital use sandalwood. There are temples, Taoist temples, and the mansions of dignitaries. With this clue, it is difficult to find the other party, the man said in a deep voice. Prince Kingchen went to the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. I guess he wants to see the conditions offered there, the man then said. I have some guesses in my mind, but the time given by His Majesty is too short. However, Bai Chao Fei of Jinfeng Xiaolao is just an ordinary person in Xianaya Pavilion, and we can't get much information by contacting him. Tell His Highness Kingchen that I want to meet Tais Hongtang of Xianaya Pavilion, Zhu Pingsheng said. Yes, the visitor bowed and left the hall. He quickly went to Murin Kingchen's palace. Soon, The man in tight clothes came to Murin Kingchen's palace. "Meet your highness." The man entered the hall and saluted Murin Kingchen. "Commander Qin, does Master Zhu have any instructions?" Murin Kingchen asked when she saw the visitor. The man in tight clothes was Qin Wei, the commander of the guards beside Zhu Pingshen, so she called him Commander Qin. "Your Highness, the master wants to meet Tai's Hongtang of Xian'ai Pavilion," Qin Wei said. Hearing this, Murin Kingchen couldn't help but ask, "Didn't Master Zhu get any clues?" "There are clues. We learned from Yan Ruiyu that Gu Xianhun smells like sandalwood, but it would be difficult to investigate in 1 or 2 days, so Master Zhu decided to meet Tai's Hongtang from Xian'ai Pavilion." "Please arrange it for him, Your Highness," Qin Wei said. Regarding Gu Xianhun's matter, the person in charge of Xian'ai Pavilion is Gu Xiantong, the deputy master of the West Pavilion who came from Jiangnan. "If Master Zhu wants to meet him, we can go to Golden Wind and Rain Tower now," Murin Kingchen said. When she went to see Bai Tianyu yesterday, Bai Tianyu told him that the matter of the Changsheng Society was handled by Gu Xiantong, the deputy master of the West Pavilion of Xian'ai Pavilion. And Gu Xiantong had already arrived in the capital yesterday. Regarding Gu Xiantong, Sima Chenghen, one of the 4 general envoys from Jiangnan, had previously sent some simple information about him. "Well, I'll go and report to the chief," Qin Wei bowed and went to report to Zhu Pingshen. After a while, Murin Kingchen and Zhu Pingshen left the palace and went to Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. On a terrace in a pavilion, looking outside. "How is the investigation of Dafeng Temple going?" Gu Xiantong looked at Bai Tianyu beside him and said. "It has been confirmed that Master Xianmi is Gu Xianhun. The real Master Xianmi is dead. And the people in Dafeng Temple should be controlled by Gu Xianhun," Bai Tianyu said in a deep voice. "Investigate Dafeng Temple, investigate Master Xianmi." Bai Tianyu was surprised. Gu Xianhun of the Changsheng Society actually controlled the entire Dafeng Temple. "This is good, we can take down Dafeng Temple in one fell swoop," Gu Xiantong said in a flat tone. Dong, dong, the door of the pavilion was knocked. Deputy Pavilion Master, Tower Master, His Highness Kingchen and Zhu Pingshen of the Xianjian Division are here, Nalan Rongyan said. Zhu Pingshen can't wait any longer. "Let's go meet this Zhu Pingshen," Gu Xiantong said. The two stepped out of the pavilion. After a while, they came to the main hall of the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower. "Meet Deputy Pavilion Master Gu," Zhu Pingshen spoke first. He had some information about Gu Xiantong, so he recognized Gu Xiantong at a glance. "Master Zhu, His Highness Kingchen, please sit down." Gu Xiantong asked the two to sit down, and then sat opposite him with Bai Tianyu. Master Zhu must have come for Gu Xianhun of the Changsheng Society. Gu Xianhun's identity and other information have been fully investigated by our Xian'ai Pavilion, Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower. If you cooperate with Master Zhu, we have a request. After taking down Gu Xianhun, we, Xian'ai Pavilion, will take over where he is, Gu Xiantong said. "You want the place where Gu Xianhun is?" Hearing Gu Xiantong's words, Zhu Pingshen frowned slightly. He got some clues from Yan Ruiyu, and with Gu Xiantong's request, he knew that the place where Gu Xianhun is now should be very unusual. He fell into deep thought for a while. Gu Xiantong was not in a hurry, and his face was calm. Cooperate with Zhu Pingshen. On the one hand, he wanted to take down Dafeng Temple legitimately, and on the other hand, he also wanted to see the other strengths of Xianjianxi. Some time ago, the strength shown by Xianjianxi was extremely extraordinary. So Gu Xiantong also wanted to take the opportunity to see it. The atmosphere was quiet. But no one spoke. "It seems that the place is not simple. Since your pavilion wants that place, as long as you kill Gu Xianhun, that place will belong to your pavilion," Zhu Pingshen said after thinking for a while. He wanted to take the opportunity to see the strength of Xian'ai Pavilion in the capital. "Since Master Zhu said so, then I, Xian'ai Pavilion, will take the lead. We have found out that Gu Xianhun is now in Dafeng Temple, and his identity is Master Xianmi. The masters in Dafeng Temple are now controlled by Gu Xianhun," Bai Tianyu said beside Gu Xiantong. Hearing Bai Tianyu's words, Murin Kingchen's face showed horror. She never expected that Gu Xianhun would be in Dafeng Temple, and he was Master Xianmi. However, Zhu Pingshen on the side had a calm expression. When Gu Xiantong proposed the conditions, he guessed that the place where Gu Xianhun was not simple. Gu Xianhun is really not simple. He was able to kill Master Xianmi quietly, since we already know his identity. Let's move. We can't let Gu Xianhun have the opportunity to leave. Your Highness Qingchen, notify the Xianjianxi Divine Guards to block the perimeter of Dafeng Temple. Only entry is allowed but not exit. A sharp cold light flashed in Zhu Pingsheng's eyes, and a layer of murderous intent appeared on his body. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 910 Hu Ping escapes alive, Yao Yu intercepts. Deputy Pavilion Master Gu, I have blocked the road. The rest is up to you. Of course, if you can't take down Gu Xianhun, we will take action at that time, and then Dafeng Temple will not belong to your Xianaya Pavilion. After Zhu Pingsheng ordered Murin Qingchen, he looked at Gu Xiantuang. The meaning of his words was very clear, that is, the opportunity is given to you. If you can't take down Dafeng Temple, when the Xianjian division takes action, Dafeng Temple will not belong to Xianaya Pavilion. Master Zhu, don't worry, if we can't take down Gu Xianhun, we won't occupy Dafeng Temple. Zhou Fei, notified Deputy Pavilion Master Tai and Deputy Pavilion Master Yao Yu, we will set off to Dafeng Temple, Gu Xiantong said to Bai Chao Fei beside him. Then we will meet at Dafeng Temple, Zhu Pingsheng said. Okay, Gu Xiantong nodded. Zhu Pingsheng and Murin Qingchen left. On the carriage. Your Highness Qingchen, this Xianaya Pavilion is ambitious, Zhu Pingsheng said in a deep voice. It can be seen that they should have found out that Gu Xianhun was in Dafeng Temple a long time ago, so Gu Xiantong came here to occupy Dafeng Temple. General Envoy Sima is not sure about the specific strength of Gu Xiantuang. Maybe we can take a look today, Murin Qingchen said. We need to take a look. A gleam of light flashed in Zhu Pingsheng's eyes. If we take over Dafeng Temple, the fortune will change, then it should be Xianaya Pavilion who intercepted the fortune before, Zhu Pingsheng thought in his heart. Dafeng Temple. In the meditation room of Master Xianmi. The third elder of the Changsheng Society, Hu Pingshen, looked at Gu Xianhun, who is incarnated as Master Xianmi in front of him, and said, Brother, why did you send someone to follow me? Hu Pingsheng's face was very angry. After failing to attack King Rui, he noticed that someone was following him, so he came to question Gu Xianhun. Just in case, Gu Xianhun looked calm. Since senior brother doesn't believe me, then there's no point for me to stay here. I'll leave the capital and return to Changsheng Island. Hearing Gu Xianhun's words, Hu Pingsheng sneered, waved his sleeves, turned around, and left directly. Junior brother, let's go. Seeing Hu Pingsheng turning around and leaving, Gu Xianhun frowned. Does senior brother want to keep me? Hu Pingsheng stopped walking and a sense of vigilance rose in his body. It's not that I want to keep you, but if you return to Changsheng Island now, I'm afraid you will die. Zhu Pingsheng already knows that Changsheng will be in the East China Sea. He must have sent people to investigate. I believe that with Zhu Pingsheng and his ability, Changsheng Island may have been found now. Maybe Changsheng Island has been destroyed, Gu Xianhun said in a deep voice. The East China Sea is so big and there are so many islands. It's impossible for them to find Changsheng Island. Hu Pingsheng frowned and said. You underestimate Zhou Di and Zhu Pingsheng too much, Gu Xianhun said coldly. At this time, a hurried figure walked into the Zen room. Master, the people from the Xianjian division have surrounded our Dafeng Temple. You are only allowed to enter the mountain but not leave, the monk who came reported. What? Hearing this news, not only Hu Pingsheng's expression changed, but even Gu Xianhun's face froze. You go down first, and inform me in time if there is any news, Gu Xianhun ordered. The monk bowed and left the meditation room. The Xianjian division has found us, Hu Pingsheng said after the monk left. It should be. I didn't expect that they found this place so quickly. How did they find it? Gu Xianhun frowned. What should we do now? Hu Pingsheng said. It's not appropriate to fight head-on. Let's leave through the secret passage, Gu Xianhun said in a deep voice. While speaking, he activated a mechanism. An underground secret passage appeared. Let's go. Gu Xianhun was the first to enter the secret passage. The lights in the secret passage were a little dim. After they walked for a while, a bright light appeared. The light was a cave entrance. The two came out of the cave entrance. Let's go separately. We'll meet at the Xiansheng tea house in the capital in one day, Gu Xianhun said to Hu Pingsheng. Hua Pingsheng nodded and rushed to place. Gu Xianhun also left. Just a moment later, Gu Xianhun's figure appeared at the entrance of the cave again. Looking at the direction where Hua Pingsheng left before, Zhu Pingsheng actually blocked Defeng Temple. It's so difficult to go down the mountain. Let you help me explore the way first. Gu Xianhun turned and entered the cave, returning to Defeng Temple. He was using Hua Pingsheng to test the Xianjian division. On the mountain road, Hua Pingsheng rushed. But before he had walked for long, his figure suddenly stopped. A figure appeared in front of Hua Pingsheng. You want to leave alone? Do you think you have the ability to do so? The figure that appeared looked at Hua Pingsheng and said, boom. While the figure was talking, Hua Pingsheng's figure moved, kicked the ground with his feet, and shot towards the figure. Divine power, Sky Wrath Black Lotus, boom. The divine power of Hua Pingsheng burst out, and a black lotus shadow appeared behind him. When the black lotus shadow appeared, the true energy in Hua Pingsheng's palm circulated rapidly, and a black lotus also appeared. This black lotus was about 10 feet long, emitting a terrifying true energy fluctuation. This true energy fluctuation was extremely cold, and the surrounding air had a vague feeling of being frozen under this cold air. The figure who blocked him, his eyes condensed, and a black long sword appeared in his hand. The sword energy flowed on the long sword, and a sharp sword light emerged. Boom. Strike first to gain the upper hand. Cut with a sword. When the opponent drew his sword, Hua Pingsheng slapped his palm, and the black lotus energy instantly shot out, forming a black stream of water. The water was violent, like a black giant python, rushing towards the sword light. After the move, Hua Pingsheng's figure did not stop at all, and rushed to another place. The opponent's strength is not simple. Once he is dragged, other masters of the Xianjian division will come. At that time, he will not be able to leave even if he wants to. Boom. The knife light and the black lotus collided. At the moment when the two forces collided, a muffled sound that made people's heart tremble came. The figure who drew the knife was shocked and retreated several steps. When he stabilized his body, he saw Hua Pingsheng rushing far away. However, this person did not chase him, but turned around and hid in the mountains and forests. Hua Pingsheng did not sense the pursuit of the person. His mind relaxed. But when his mind relaxed, suddenly, he saw a figure in white palace clothes standing in front of him. His figure stopped immediately and looked at the white figure with a serious expression. I didn't expect that someone would come out just after the mountain was closed. The figure in white palace clothes turned around, and it was Yao Yu. You are not from the Xianjian division, who are you? Hua Pingsheng looked at Yao Yu, who turned around, his eyes fixed. The other party's face can be said to be stunning. Such a person is definitely not from the Xianjian division. I am Yao Yu, the deputy pavilion master of Xian'ai Pavilion. Yao Yu's cold voice echoed on the mountain road. Xian'ai Pavilion, when did you become the running dogs of Xianjianzi? Hua Pingsheng's eyes condensed and he said in a cold voice. Hearing Hua Pingsheng's words, Yao Yu's cold eyes became even colder. Killing intent filled the air. Boom. Hua Pingsheng attacked again, and his divine power burst out, sweeping towards Yao Yu. The terrifying cold breath swept towards Yao Yu like a tide. Chapter 911, Frozen, Shattered, the iron-blooded banner emerges. The cold air swept through, and a layer of ice appeared in the surrounding space. A layer of frost also appeared on Yao Yu in front of him. Bang! At this moment, Hua Pingsheng moved his feet, his figure shot out, turned into a black lightning, appeared in front of Yao Yu, raised his palm, and attacked Yao Yu with one palm. Die! Hua Pingsheng's voice was cold and fierce, and his eyes were sinister. He first sealed Yao Yu with cold air, and then attacked like lightning to kill the opponent. However, when his palm was about to approach Yao Yu, the frost covering Yao Yu's body disappeared instantly. Stupid! A cold voice appeared in Hua Pingsheng's ears. Along with this sound, a terrifying cold air instantly burst out from Yao Yu's body. Hua Pingsheng stretched out his palm, and it was instantly covered with a layer of frost. Seeing this, Hua Pingsheng's face changed drastically, and his figure quickly retreated. His figure fell, but his arm was frozen and temporarily lost consciousness. This cold air, he looked at Yao Yu in front of him with horror. Ice Phoenix, the sky cracks. At this moment of horror, Yao Yu made a move, and the palm of his hand turned into a huge cold air black ice phoenix claw, tearing everything apart and appearing in front of Hua Pingsheng. Seeing this, Hua Pingsheng slapped out with his other palm, But when his palm collided with Yao Yu's palm, a terrifying cold air instantly flowed into his body from his arm. In the blink of an eye, Hu Pingsheng's whole body was frozen by the ice. At the moment when Hu Pingsheng was frozen by the ice, Yao Yu stretched out his palm and grabbed it again, and the big hand of true energy fell on the opponent's head. Boom! The terrifying energy rushed in. Bang! The whole body of the frozen Hu Pingsheng shattered, turning into ice cubes and falling on the ground. Yao Yu glanced at the ice on the ground and left in the blink of an eye. After Yao Yu left, a figure appeared. Looking at the scattered ice on the ground, his palm grabbed the piece. Swish! In the blink of an eye, a layer of ice covered his palms. He quickly threw away the ice in his hand, and the qi in his body circulated to drive away the cold. What a terrifying cold air! The person who appeared looked extremely solemn after looking at the direction where Yao Yu left. Then he hid in the forest. At this time, at the gate of Dafeng Temple, Gu Xiantong, Tais Hongtang, Shangwen Jinhong, Bai Chaofei, Jing Wuming and others appeared. "Who are you?" The monks in the gate saw Gu Xiantong and others and said sternly. "Tisk." Jing Wuming, who was beside Shangwen Jinhong, took action and split the opponent in half with a long sword in his hand. Kill! Jing Wuming was the first to kill in. Jing Wuming's sword was very fast. He didn't give the monks in Dafeng Temple a chance to attack. "Who dares to break into my Dafeng Temple?" A low roar came out, and then a burly monk appeared, followed by a dozen monks holding iron sticks. He looked at Jing Wuming with ferocious eyes. "I'm here to meet Master Xianmi. Please show yourself," Jing Wuming said coldly. "How can you meet the master?" "Kill him." The burly monk clenched his long stick and rushed towards Jing Wuming. Swish! At this moment, a golden light appeared between his throat. Crack! Before the burly monk could attack, his throat was broken, his head hung down, and then he fell to the ground. The people behind him were shocked and stopped in their tracks. At this time, Jing Wuming had already rushed in. Swish, 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 the sword energy was everywhere, and all the people who stopped in their tracks were killed by the sword light. Bang! Looking for death, at this moment. 5 figures rushed out of the hall. The leader was an old monk wearing a golden cassock, who was the abbot of Dafeng Temple, Master Du Ian. The 4 people beside him were the heads of the 4 major temples of Dafeng Temple. "People from Xianaya Pavilion, you wantonly broke into our Dafeng Temple. Are you going to be enemies with our tantric sect?" the chief monk Du Yan said. His voice was loud and shocking. "This Dafeng Temple has been given to us by the Xianjian division. We are here today to take down Dafeng Temple. Master Xianmi killed the 7th prince of the Great Zhou dynasty. You should help us take down Master Xianmi." Gu Xiantong stepped forward and said. "What? Master Xianmi killed the 7th prince? That's impossible." Some ordinary monks in the temple were not controlled by Gu Xianhong. When they heard the news, they were horrified. They looked at the people next to them. "Don't you believe it? Otherwise, why would the Xianjian division close the mountain?" Gu Xiantong continued. "Xian'e Pavilion, you are lying here. You slandered Master Xianmi, I will kill you." A monk next to Master Du Ian rushed out, and a terrifying divine power burst out of his body. Divine power, a vague golden palm. The figure soared into the air, and the whole person had a sense of Buddhahood, and slapped his palm. A huge golden handprint burst out and enveloped Gu Xiantong. The golden handprint was like a heavy mountain, with a magnificent power. "Since he doesn't show up, kill him until he shows up." Tais Hongtang, who was next to Gu Xiantong, stepped out, and a terrifying blood-colored iron-blooded flag emerged behind him. Boom! The blood-colored flag was filled with terrifying murderous aura, rushing into the sky and forming a blood-colored flag. The flag appeared. Blood and murderous aura surged. The golden palm print fell, and was instantly shattered under this blood. The face of the person who made the move changed. Golden body Buddha, Vajra indestructible palm. A huge roar came from the other party's mouth. The true energy on his body burst out like the sun, trying to disperse the blood-colored aura. Roar! But in this blood-colored aura, a dragon roar suddenly appeared, covering the opponent's roar. "Iron-blooded dragon soul, shock all directions," Tais Hongtang shouted. His figure flew into the air, and with a wave of the blood-colored flag in his hand, it instantly enveloped the monk who made the move. The monk who made the move only felt that he had entered a blood-colored ocean, and the golden true energy around him was completely shattered by the blood. At the moment when the true energy was shattered, a huge suction force appeared, and the blood and energy in his body, in a blink of an eye, rushed towards Tai Hongtang's flag like a tide. Ah! The monk who made the move let out a scream, and then a pile of bones fell to the ground. The spirit, blood and flesh were all swallowed by Tai Hongtang's iron-blooded flag. Seeing this situation, the square became extremely quiet, and the monks looked at Tai Hongtang with horror. Tai Hongtang held the iron-blooded flag and looked at the remaining Zen Master Duyan with cold eyes. That flag might be a spiritual weapon. The abbot of Dafeng Temple saw this scene, his eyes full of fear. "I'll do it." Next to the abbot of Dafeng Temple, Master Duyan, a skinny old man, appeared in front of Tai Hongtang in a flash. As soon as he appeared, a terrifying flame key burst out of his body. Under the flame key, streams of light appeared on his cassock. It can be seen that his cassock is not ordinary. Buddha body, golden flame glass. The skinny old man who appeared shouted, grabbed the cassock in his hand, and then went towards Tai Hongtang like a flowing cloud iron sleeve. 3 updates first, at least 2 updates before 7 p.m. Chapter 912, The Great Banner shocks the soul, suppresses the invincible. The cassock was flowing, like a golden cloud, towards Tai Hongtang, who was holding a big flag. The speed was so fast that it formed a wind blade that came into contact with the air, and a sharp sound instantly burst out. During this period, the skinny monk's body changed, and blood and ki burst out from his body like mountains and rivers. The blood and ki rolled together, and the momentum was terrifying. In a blink of an eye, he came in front of Tai Hongtang. Tai Hongtang waved the iron-blooded flag in his hand, and it rolled together in an instant. Boom! The next moment, the big flag in his hand shot out violently like a spear. The spear force burst out, forming a strong ki, and the sound of the explosion was like thunder. This blow was like a comet that pierced the sky and the earth. It collided with the cassock. When the cassock collided, the skinny old monk roared. Divine power, the sound of the Vajra Buddha. After the divine power burst out, he opened his mouth and roared. The terrifying roar exploded in everyone's ears like thunder. Under the influence of divine power, the roar sounded like hundreds of people roaring. The roars of hundreds of people gathered into a huge sound that shook the earth, like a tsunami. Within a radius of dozens of feet, the air and other objects continued to shatter in the surging vibration and whistling sound. Some monks who approached quickly retreated. Those who failed to retreat successfully had blood flowing from their 7 orifices, their eardrums ruptured, and they fell to the ground, their life or death unknown. The cassock on the skinny old monk was not ordinary. He used it to resist the iron-blooded flag in Tai Hongtang's hand. But his main weapon was the sound of the whistle, which was his trump card. Tai Hongtang was enveloped by the sound of the whistle. Iron-blooded dragon roar under the attack of this sound whistle. The tip of the iron-blooded flag in Tai Hongtang's hand collided with the cassock. Layers of energy rushed into the cassock. The cassock instantly cracked and turned into fragments. And he also let out a low roar. Roaring, the dragon roar appeared, shattering the sound wave attack. After shattering the sound wave, Tai Hongtang stepped out. The iron blood banner in his hand was like a spear, and it shot out in an instant, so fast that it shattered everything. A shot hit the opponent's chest. Swish! Blood flowed from the opponent's body. Finally, it was absorbed by the tip of the spear. After killing the skinny monk, Tai Hongtang looked at the monk Duyan and the other 2 standing there. His eyes were cold and fierce. Iron blood, killing God. At this moment, Tai Hongtang burst out with all his strength. A dragon shadow appeared in the iron blood banner and merged with his body. Then the iron blood banner was waved down. Boom! The blood and ki boiled, like countless meteors, turning into waterfalls, attacking the 3 Zen masters Duyan and Duyan. The true energy in his body was like the ocean, with violent storms and raging waves. The momentum was unmatched. At this moment, a dragon shadow also appeared on Tai Hongtang's body. The dragon's might shook the sky. The sky and the earth changed color. Seeing this situation, the faces of the monks Duyan and Duyan changed drastically. Kill! The 3 of them roared and punched at the same time. The punches were powerful. Especially the abbot of Dafeng Temple, Master Duyan. After a punch, the divine power on his body burst out. After the divine power burst out, he raised his palm and slapped it out. The energy of the palm was violent, and it was going to shatter everything. The other 2 also roared, and the true energy and blood in their bodies were boiling. They also burst out at the same time, and their bodies turned into a stream of light and rushed towards Tai Hongtang. Boom! 4 forces collided. 4 figures separated. 3 talents absolute heaven formation, a blow blocked Tai Hongtang's flag. The monk Du Ian shouted in a low voice, and the 3 people changed their bodies. In the blink of an eye, they appeared in 3 directions. The energy in their palms burst out and went towards Tai Hongtang. Tai Hongtang's eyes condensed. The iron-blooded flag turned around, and the blood boiled, forming a strong energy. The strong energy and the iron-blooded flag collided. For a moment, half of the sky was dark, and half of it was golden. Boom! The 2 forces collided, and the terrifying power swept around. Iron Blood Dragon Soul Palm. At this time, Tai Hongtang shouted in a low voice, and his huge blood-colored palm attacked one place. Boom! The heaven and earth shook, the air exploded, and energy raged. Boom! The forces of the 2 sides collided. The powerful force shattered all the surrounding trees. Not good. Seeing this situation, the 3 abbots of Dafeng Temple and Tai Hongtang were all shocked and retreated. The 3 of them stabilized their bodies and looked at each other, all showing shock. You are looking for death? Then I will grant you your wish, Tai Hongtang roared, holding the iron blood banner in his hand. Then a more dazzling force than before came out in an instant, covering the 3 of them. Kill! At this time, 18 streams of light suddenly swept towards Tai Hongtang's back from a distance, at a speed so fast that just when these 18 streams of light appeared, a jade hand suddenly appeared. 18 icy energy flew out from the fingers and collided with a flying stream of light. The stream of light collided with the icy energy and was frozen and fell to the ground. 18 Buddhist beads. It was the burly monk who was beside Master Xianmi before. Bang! When he appeared, Tai Hongtang put a palm on the chest of the monk Duyan. The whole body of the monk Duyan was shaken and flew backwards, hitting the stone platform, and blood spurted out of his mouth. Master, the expressions of the other 2 changed. But at this time, a sharp bloodlight appeared. Swish! The tip of the iron-blooded flag slashed across the throat of one of them, and blood spurted out. A single blow sealed the throat. In the blink of an eye, only one person was left. In the dark. The weapon in Tai Hongtang's hand is not ordinary. Standing with Murin Qingchen, Zhu Pingsheng's eyes condensed. He is also very strong, 1 point stronger than when he came to the capital before, and that Yao Yu. Murin Qingchen looked at Yao Yu. At this moment, Yao Yu was facing the burly monk. The burly monk's Buddhist beads were shot down, and golden light radiated from his body. The whole body was surging with blood, and the body began to collide continuously, like a giant. Go to hell, the burly man growled, and his palm was like a palace, bombarding Yao Yu. Yao Yu's eyes were cold and fierce, and he raised his palm. A sound of a phoenix appeared. Then a huge icy palm went towards the burly monk. Boom! 2 extremely terrifying sounds were heard, like thunder. But after the thunder, the terrifying cold air spread towards the other party's body like the Ice Age, and covered the other party's arm in the blink of an eye. The burly monk roared. The blood in his body wanted to melt the ice on his arm like a furnace, but the freezing speed was too fast, and in the blink of an eye, the whole person was covered by ice. Yao Yu's white palm grabbed the burly monk's head. At this time, dozens of bone-like lights swept towards Yao Yu's back. Along with these dozens of bone-like lights, a scholar holding a bone fan appeared, and his figure was like a ghost. In the blink of an eye, he came in front of Yao Yu. The bone fan in his hand was like lightning and pointed at Yao Yu's back. Yao Yu's eyes condensed as he attacked. He instantly slapped his palm behind him, and a terrifying cold air swept towards him. Seeing this, the other party immediately retracted the bone fan and turned to the side. Boom! At this time, the ice on the burly monk's body shattered. The whole person gasped and looked at Yao Yu with a ferocious look. Chapter 913, Trump Card, Secret Technique, Blood Sacrifice, Demonic Array. What a strong ice! Just received a message saying that Yao Yu froze Hua Pingsheng with 1 strike. It's really unexpected. There are so many strong people in Xianaya Pavilion, Zhu Pingsheng said in a deep voice. They are just deputy pavilion masters. At present, only the pavilion masters of the East Pavilion and the North Pavilion have appeared in Xianaya Pavilion. The pavilion master of the East Pavilion, Gu Santong, has only 1 record, but he didn't show how strong he is. The Night Emperor has appeared before. His strength is average, but he hasn't reached the sea to concentrate his mind. This Tai Hongtang is much stronger than the Night Emperor. I don't know why he is only the deputy pavilion master of the North Pavilion, Murin Qingchen said on the side. While speaking, his eyes were looking at Gu Santong. Gu Shantong had not made a move. Judging from this situation, Gu Shantong's strength should be stronger than Yao Yu and Tai's Hongtang. Xian'ai Pavilion, West Pavilion, Zhu Pingsheng muttered in his mouth. After all, Ren Qianxing of the West Pavilion killed the Sword Master of the Holy Sword Lake and broke through the Heavenly Gate and left. Later, Gu Shantong appeared and occupied the Holy Sword Lake even more forcefully. It can be seen that the West Pavilion of Xian'ai Pavilion is not simple. Bang! At this time, the last head of Dafeng Temple died in the hands of Tai's Hongtang. For a moment, the whole atmosphere became solemn. On the other side, the burly monk and the scholar holding the bone fan joined together to confront Yao Yu. But the two looked extremely solemn. Because the aura of Yao Yu in front of them was becoming more and more terrifying at this moment. Under this aura, layers of frost began to appear in the air around them. The true energy in the two people felt that it was not working properly. Boom. At this moment, suddenly an invisible force swept towards Yao Yu. Yao Yu looked in a certain direction. Gu Xian'an, wearing a brocade robe, stepped out. I really didn't expect that the one who took action this time would be someone from Xian'ai Pavilion. I thought Zhu Pingsheng would take action personally. Gu Xian'an looked at Zhu Pingsheng not far away. I just need to take your head back. Zhu Pingsheng looked at Gu Xian'an and said. Take my head with you. Do you think I have been in Dafeng Temple for so many years without any preparation? Gu Xian'an's eyes were cold. As he spoke, an invisible force wave appeared on his body, and this force wave swept towards the entire square. In the square. When the monks of Dafeng Temple were enveloped by this invisible wave, they suddenly screamed and screamed while holding their heads. As they screamed, his skin changed, turned scarlet, and his face became extremely ferocious. There was no expression in his eyes, only the bloodthirsty light of a beast. Although I didn't control them over the years, I put a kind of blood poison in them. Once I trigger them, they will become man-eating beasts. Kill, he shouted in a low voice and went towards Gu Shantong. He had seen Tai's Hongtang and Yao Yu, but he didn't know the strength of this Gu Shantong. He had to test him. Humph, since he has become a beast, get rid of him, Gu Shantong whispered in his mouth. As he spoke, his palm raised. Boom. The endless airflow around him suddenly went towards his palm, and then he raised his palm. He blasted out with one palm. The palm force that blasted out directly burst into countless sword ki. The sword ki was like a rainstorm, instantly sweeping towards the monks in the square. Chi chi chi. In just a short moment, all the monks were pierced through the body by this sword rain and fell to the ground. Blood flowed out of their bodies. The ground turned into a pool of blood in the blink of an eye. What a terrifying sword ki! Seeing this, Gu Xian'an's pupils shrank. He didn't expect that the other party was a swordsman. This shouldn't be your last resort. I really want to know what your resort is. Gu Shantong looked at Gu Xian'an. Boom. While Gu Shantong was speaking, Yao Yu didn't stop, and his figure flashed and appeared in front of the two people. He stretched out his palm. One palm went towards the white bone scholar. The speed was extremely fast, with a momentum of thunder and lightning. The face of the white bone scholar changed, and the white bone fan in his palm flew out instantly, and a burst of energy flew out of the white bone fan. At the moment when the energy flew out of the white bone fan, several cold rays rushed out, penetrating the energy and heading towards Yao Yu's face. This cold light can penetrate the ki, which is unusual. Boom. At this moment, the burly monk made a move. His face was ferocious, the flame energy in his hand surged, and his body rushed towards Yao Yu. Palm. A palm was slapped out, and the palm swept towards Yao Yu like a huge fireball. Yao Yu turned around. The galloping cold light was avoided by her. But at this time, the white bone scholar took a step forward, and the white bone fan in his hand hit the key points of Yao Yu's body. The white bone fan collided with the energy and shattered the energy. The two figures cooperated. It felt like Yao Yu was in trouble. Wanhua, freeze. At this moment, Yao Yu shouted in a low voice. The heart pulse in her body moved. A terrifying cold air appeared around him, several times stronger than the previous one. The terrifying cold air instantly swept towards the two. Before the two of them could reach Yao Yu, they were enveloped by the cold air. In the blink of an eye, they were frozen. After freezing the two, Yao Yu clapped her hands twice in succession. Bang! The two people who were frozen exploded instantly. They turned into slag without even a scream. Seeing this scene, Gu Xian'an's eyes condensed. You have blood power in your body, He looked at Yao Yu and asked in a deep voice. But Yao Yu ignored him and stood aside. You are the only one left. Show us your skills and let us see. Otherwise, you will have no chance. Gu Xiantong looked at Gu Xianhun and said. If you want to see, then I will tell you, but I also have to thank you. Gu Xianhun showed a sneer at the corner of his mouth. Secret art of immortality, blood sacrifice, demon god. At this time, Gu Xianhun shouted in a low voice, formed a seal in his hand, and a stream of true energy flowed in his palm, and then a palm fell on the ground. When the true energy gushed out, on the ground outside the main hall of the Defeng Temple, blood-colored runes appeared one after another. As soon as these runes appeared, they began to absorb the blood flowing on the ground. Boom! As the runes continued to absorb the blood on the ground, blood-colored light columns rushed out from the ground. Blood filled the world. Zhu Pingsheng looked at this situation with a condensed look. Mur and Qingchen looked at Zhu Pingsheng. A secret art of the immortal society is called the demon god formation. I didn't expect him to set it up in the Defeng Temple. Zhu Pingsheng's eyes condensed, and his eyes looked at Gu Xiantong. Gu Xiantong looked at the blood column rising to the sky on the ground, and a gleam of brilliance appeared on his face. Boom! When this blood column rose to the sky appeared, the aura of Gu Xianhun changed, and there was a sign that he was about to break through the concentration in the sea. He moved his footsteps and landed in the middle of the square. When his footsteps landed, blood-colored energy enveloped his body. This blood energy can not only improve my strength, but also affect Shineman. This is my trump card, let me see how you can resist. The demon god merges, Gu Xianhun shouted. Boom! The blood-colored runes on the ground formed a terrifying blood-colored figure, which was 100 feet tall. As soon as it appeared, the whole world seemed to sink. I will write another chapter in the evening and try to finish Defeng Temple. Chapter 914, Sword opens, slays the devil, slays the sky. Roar. Gu Xianhun roared, and his power rose to surpass his Hong concentration in an instant. He stared at Gu Xiantong. Unlike others, Gu Xianhun practiced the power of the soul. After taking over these blood-colored energies and the brutal aura, his mind was not affected. I didn't expect that Gu Xianhun had this trick. If it weren't for Xianaya Pavilion's action, I'm afraid I would have suffered some losses this time. Maybe I have to use some other power to suppress him, Zhu Pingsheng said as he looked at Gu Xianhun in the blood array. Then he looked at Gu Xiantong. At this time, Gu Xianhun's power might have reached the shattering level. He has the ability to open the heaven gate, and it is a shattering level that is not affected by the heaven gate. This is your strength, it is indeed quite strong, Gu Xiantong looked at Gu Xianhun. But I am a little curious, why the second elder of the Changsheng Association has not reached the shattering level. Gu Xiantong looked at Gu Xianhun and said. Broken level, why should I upgrade to that level? If I upgrade to that level, once the Skygate Phantom emerges, I have no way to fight against the Skygate. If I enter the Skygate, with my strength, I will just become cannon fodder, Gu Xianhun said coldly. Is this why you want the royal bloodline? From your current situation, what did you extract from the 7th prince? I am very interested in that, Gu Xiantong said. Emperor Zhou has the bloodline of the imperial family, and of course his descendants have it. The bloodline of the imperial family can only be born from a family that has produced a great emperor. As long as I get a little bit, I will be valued when I enter the Skygate. How can I not be interested? Gu Xianhun did not seem to avoid this topic, but answered Gu Xiantong's words. What does Gu Xiantong want to do? Zhu Pingsheng, who was watching the battle, stared. He did not expect Gu Xiantong to ask such a question. Is that so? What a pity, Gu Xiantong sighed. Sigh, are you sighing for me? You should sigh for yourself, Gu Xianhun said coldly. Really? Sigh, you have been planning for so long, and when it is about to be realized, you no longer have the chance. You say this, isn't it sigh-worthy? Gu Xiantong said. Looking for death, hearing Gu Xiantong's words, Gu Xianhun's face became ferocious. He raised his palm, and his body moved and instantly appeared in front of Gu Xiantong. Boom! A punch was thrown out, and suddenly the terrifying blood energy was like a bright light curtain, heading towards Gu Xiantong. Gu Xiantong's body did not change, and a punch was thrown out. A burst of energy from the fist turned into a sword body. It collided with the opponent's fist. Boom! The sword light collided with a blood-colored light, making a terrifying roar. Gu Xianhun, who had just punched out, saw that his fist was easily blocked by the opponent, and his eyes condensed slightly. Your strength is above Hai Zhuangning Shen, But you will die anyway. Gu Xianhun's tone was cold, and with a boom, blood energy appeared on his body. And the blood and qi in his body began to boil. The blood and qi boiled, and the shadow of the demon god that appeared on his body began to emerge. A rumbling sound appeared on his body, and his body began to change. The blood and qi, the true qi, and the sea of blood in his body were mighty and rolling. 3 kinds of terrifying auras condensed. The sea of blood is surging. Gu Xianhun shouted fiercely, moved his feet, and raised his palm. The blood and qi in his huge palm were like the sea. A monstrous pressure appeared, covering the entire sky. For a moment, everyone only felt that there were lines of gravity suppression on their bodies. Gu Xiantong's eyes condensed slightly. The emperor looks at the qi, the heavenly sword body. Gu Xiantong shouted in a low voice. Countless air currents around him enveloped his body. At this moment, Gu Xiantong's aura was terribly improved in an instant. This is not an improvement in strength, but an improvement in the god. When this god appeared, a terrifying sword aura appeared on his body. The sword aura soared into the sky and condensed in the void. Suddenly, a huge sword of 100 feet appeared in the air. The sword came out, and the terrifying sword energy swept through. The blood energy that enveloped the world seemed to be shattered by the sword energy. Boom! The gate of heaven that was previously covered in the sky. As if sensing this terrifying power, a shadow appeared, and thunder flashed in the shadow. The terrifying thunder power swept out. For a moment, 3 forces appeared between heaven and earth. Thunder, sword energy, and sea of blood. Sea of blood, the devil strikes. At this time, Gu Xianhun's expression condensed. He took the lead. Boom! A huge fist appeared and went towards Gu Xiantong. Sword open, cut the sky, the huge sword body slashed out in an instant. Thunder and blood were instantly split by this sword, and collided with a fist that was bombarded. Bang! The terrifying fist was chopped by this sword. Gu Xianhun's expression changed, and he roared, his body began to swell, and suddenly he took a big breath. All the blood energy on the ground poured into his body. Devil, the wrath of the sky, roar! Gu Xianhun roared, and a huge demonic shadow appeared behind him. The demonic shadow gave people a sense of terror and unpredictability. Boom! The thunder gathered above the Xianmen became stronger and stronger. It was much stronger than the thunder and lightning that had previously produced the Xianmen. Looking up, you can see the sea of thunder rolling above the Xianmen. Kill! Gu Xianhun roared. He appeared in front of Gu Xiantong in one step. The heavenly saint sword body on Gu Xiantong's body exploded, and the man standing there was like a giant sword holding up the sky. Heavenly saint sword body, how can he have the heavenly saint sword body? Zhu Pingsheng looked at the sword energy emanating from Gu Xiantong. Heavenly saint sword body, holy sword open. At this time, Gu Xiantong moved his body, and the whole person turned into a terrifying sword light, and instantly went towards Gu Xianhun. Boom! The sea of thunder poured down from the sky. The sword light collided with a blood light. In the huge blood light, the demonic shadow was split into 2 under the sword light and disappeared, and the blood light turned into the figure of Gu Xianhun. However, the lightning pouring down from the heavenly gate all fell on Gu Xiantong, who cut open the demon's shadow. Sword cut. Heavenly gate, boom. The sword light came out again. A sword came out and collided with the thunder. The thunder was split in half by the sword light. The sword light did not stop, and continued to go to the heavenly gate. Boom. The sword light cut on the heavenly gate. The heavenly gate was broken. Gu Xiantong's figure was in the air, and the aura around him was restrained. He grabbed with his palm. A stream of energy gathered in his hand. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a sword light. Boom! The sword light fell. On the ground, blood flowed from the corner of Gu Xianhun's mouth. He looked at Gu Xiantong with horror. The opponent's strength was too strong. His trump card was in the opponent's hand, but it was vulnerable. He looked up at the sky. Swish! The sword light penetrated his body. Why? He asked such a question. He was unwilling in his heart. He hid for so long and planned for so many years. He was killed just like that. Plop. His body fell to the ground. His eyes were filled with unwillingness. Gu Xiantong's body fell down. He said to Zhu Pingsheng, Master Zhu, you can take his head back. From now on, this Defeng temple belongs to my Xianaya pavilion. Zhu Pingsheng looked at Gu Xiantong with a serious look. He raised his hand and grabbed Gu Xianhong's body. He turned around and left. Mur and King Chen also left. Chapter 915, Yan Nanfei's strength and the visitor's test. Tingshao area, Jichen. Xianan Pagoda. Yan Nanfei stood on the top of the tower with his hands behind his back, his eyes looking at Xianan Lake not far away. In his previous life, as a substitute for Gongziyu, he was addicted to the temptations of fame and fortune in the martial arts world. When he reappeared in this world, his mentality changed. Of course, he still had fame, fortune and power in his heart. If a warrior does not pursue fame, fortune and power, he cannot be called a warrior. The martial arts world is a place of fame and fortune. Hegemony is the ultimate goal in the hearts of some warriors. Da. 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 There was a sound of footsteps in the pavilion. A figure walked into the pavilion. The person who came was a charming woman. The woman was wearing a light blue silk long skirt, which moved with the wind, perfectly outlining her own curvy and hazy figure. She was beautiful, her eyes were like water waves, and her red lips were seductive. Yan Nanfei turned and looked at the person who came. I am Liu Chunayan of the Paradise Palace. May I know your name? Yan Nanfei, the new July Hall Master of the Qinglong Society. Did the Paradise Palace send you here? Yan Nanfei became the new July Hall Master after Lian Chengbi left. While speaking, a breath appeared on his body, and this breath directly enveloped Liu Chunayan. In Yan Nanfei's heart, Liu Chunayan's status was too low. Hall Master Yan, don't misunderstand, I'm just here to lead the way. Under the breath of Yan Nanfei, Liu Chunayan bent her whole body, revealing a pitiful look. What a person who doesn't understand romance, she complained in her heart. After all, she is also a charming person. This Yan Nanfei doesn't know how to cherish women at all. You want to see us, not us. If he doesn't come, then I will leave first. Now is the time to gather the forces of all parties. He will not waste time here. Hall Master Yan, wait, I will notify you right away. Liu Chunayan didn't expect Yan Nanfei to go with her to meet people, so she could only speak. While talking, the person slowly came to the front of the pavilion, raised his hand, and a firework appeared. Please wait for a moment, Master Yan. During this time, Master Yan can do something else. While talking, the body slowly moved in front of Yan Nanfei, with a charming look on her face. There is no one else here. Master Yan can do whatever he wants. The words were full of teasing. Yan Nanfei's eyes turned cold. Master Yan, don't get me wrong, I just want to help Master Yan rub his shoulders, Liu Chunayan said. But while she was talking, Yan Nanfei suddenly stretched out his palm and grabbed the other person's throat. You are not from the Paradise Palace to meet us, right? Tell me who the other person is. Yan Nanfei's tone was cold. Liu Chunayan, who was grabbed by Yan Nanfei's throat, wanted to struggle and use the energy in her body. But a terrifying force appeared in Yan Nanfei's palm. It made her breathing difficult all of a sudden. The true energy in her body could not circulate for a while. Her face flushed. She wanted to speak. Yan Nanfei loosened his grip a little, and looked at the other party with cold eyes. I don't know either. I just received a notice from the palace master and came here, Liu Chunayan panted. I don't know, so what's the point of keeping you? Yan Nanfei heard this, and a murderous intent appeared on his body. And there was also a domineering aura in the murderous intent. Yan Nanfei replaced Gongziyu, and he can be said to be the overlord of one side, and he is also the person ranked first on the Jianghu celebrity list. The momentum is extraordinary. Liu Chunayan in front of him trembled under this momentum. It is rumored that the Hall Masters of the Qinglong Society are all decisive and domineering people. It is true, Jiang Lai's family, one of the 12 Hall Masters of the Qinglong Society, showed extremely domineering means and strength. I really don't know. I am just the person in charge of the Paradise Palace in the Tingzhou area, Liu Chunayan said hurriedly. Because the murderous intent emanating from Yan Nanfei made her feel that the other party might kill her. Humph! Yan Nanfei snorted coldly. He retracted his hand that was pinching the other party's neck. His mind spread to the surroundings. His eyes were looking outside the pavilion. Soon, a figure in a black robe appeared under the Xianan pagoda. The other party was wrapped in a black robe, and only his height could be seen, and nothing else could be judged. The other party seemed to sense Yan Nanfei's gaze on the pavilion, and looked up at Yan Nanfei. He wore a mask on his face, and his eyes revealed a strange look. Looking at the figure that appeared, Yan Nanfei's eyes condensed. The other party's aura was restrained, and he could not sense the other party's strength. The other party moved his feet, jumped, stepped on the outer floor of the Xianan pagoda, and appeared in front of Yan Nanfei. When he saw Yan Nanfei, the black-robed man said, "We want to see Li Chen's How, who are you?" His tone was cold and he did not like Yan Nanfei. "3 dragon heads, can you see them whenever you want?" Yan Nanfei's eyes condensed and said in a cold voice. The other party's tone was very arrogant. He would not spoil the other party. Seeing Yan Nanfei say this, a strange energy appeared in the eyes of the visitor, and a terrifying aura also appeared on his body. This aura swept towards Yan Nanfei. Yan Nanfei's eyes turned cold. He took a sudden step, flashed, and shot towards the other party. The speed was so fast. For the arrogant person, Yan Nanfei had to defeat the other party. Seeing Yan Nanfei move, the black-robed man's eyes sank. His figure quickly retreated and fell under the tower. Yan Nanfei rushed out and followed. The two of them fell downstairs. The black-robed man landed first, and at the moment of landing, the black flames around the black-robed man rose up, and he moved towards Yan Nanfei. He raised his palm, and the black flames in his palm were diffused. He clenched it into a fist and punched it out. The black flames carried a powerful destructive force, and cracks appeared in the surrounding air under this black flame. Swish! Yan Nanfei, who was landing on the ground, also moved his feet and flew out in an instant, also punching out. On the pavilion, Liu Chunayan also leaped down. Looking at the person who made the move, a bitter smile appeared on his face. He didn't expect that they were just meeting, but now they are fighting. He stared closely at the two fighting parties. Bang! The fists of the two collided with each other. A terrifying black flame true ki rushed into Yan Nanfei's body like a flood. Yan Nanfei's heart was cold. He didn't use true ki to resist this flaming true ki at all. He let this true ki go into his body. Seeing this situation, the black-robed man showed a sneer in his eyes, and his ki strength increased. But when his ki entered Yan Nanfei's body, suddenly, it was as if he was swallowed by something. He disappeared in a blink of an eye. He was shocked, but when he was surprised in his heart, Yan Nanfei suddenly changed his fist into a claw and grabbed the other's fist. At the same time, he performed Heaven and Earth Interaction Yin and Yang Great Compassion Fu, Zhang Shinjudi Mie Da Jiang Hand. The Great Hand of Heaven and Earth Destruction in the Great Compassion Ode is divided into the Great Soul-Searching Hand that grabs the vitality and essence of all things and the Great Purple Sun Hand that refines external forces and dissolves all things. Chapter 916, Heaven Destroying and Earth Destroying Great Purple Sun Hand, Devouring the Opponent's Power. Yan Nanfei knows the Great Purple Sun Hand, but not the Great Soul Search Hand. Lian Chengbi inherited Zhao Hao's martial arts and knew this technique. He originally wanted to communicate with Lian Chengbi, but he didn't expect Lian Chengbi to leave through Xianmen. Recently, he combined some other techniques in this world to improve his Great Purple Sun Hand. A terrifying section force appeared in Yan Nanfei's hands. Not only did he absorb the true ki from the opponent, but he also absorbed the true ki in the opponent's body. This, sensing that his true ki was absorbed, the black-robed man's expression changed. Boom! A divine power suddenly burst out from his body. The divine power was filled with a black flame aura, covering Yan Nanfei. Seeing this, Yan Nanfei also burst out with divine power to resist the opponent's divine power. But at this time, the black-robed man suddenly burst out with true ki on his fist. Bang! The true ki exploded. Yan Nanfei's palm was shaken open, and the opponent took this opportunity to retreat violently, looking at Yan Nanfei with horror. You actually practiced a technique that devours other people's power. Who are you? The black-robed man looked at Yan Nanfei with a serious look. Shouldn't you tell me who you are, and what is your purpose in looking for us? Yan Nanfei looked at the black-robed man and said coldly. Special Envoy Li, this is Yan Nanfei, the leader of the 7th Hall of the Azure Dragon Society. Liu Chunayan, who followed him, said. The leader of the 12th Hall. The black-robed man's eyes condensed. Nowadays, the reputation of the leaders of the 12th Hall of the Azure Dragon Society is no less than that of some dragon heads. I didn't expect that you are the leader of the 7th Hall of the Azure Dragon Society. I am Li Ao, from the South China Sea region. This time I am here to represent the General's Palace. I hope that the Azure Dragon Society will not expand in the two regions of the North and South Canals. When the black-robed man spoke, he took off the mask on his face, revealing a younger face. Boom! Just when he finished speaking, the momentum of Yan Nanfei began to change. A terrifying black airflow burst out from Yan Nanfei. The terrifying energy was like boiling seawater, heading towards Liao. It is not the turn of others to interfere in our Qinglong Society's work. If you want to interfere, I will cut off your hand today. Yan Nanfei had no intention of killing him before. That was because he wanted to see what the other party's purpose was. But the other party actually dared to ask them, Qinglong Society, not to expand in the North-South Canal Basin. This is impossible. Liu Chunayan, who was standing aside, also had her eyes wide open. She did not expect that Liao would actually say that. It's normal for you to be arrogant to me, but how can you be arrogant to the people of Qinglong Society? Why did you send such a person? At this time, Liu Chunayan cursed in her heart. Master Yan, what do you mean? We have just discussed the matter, and you are going to take action. Seeing the aura bursting out from Yan Nanfei, Liao said with a change of expression. Negotiate, then what price can your great general's palace offer to make us, Qinglong Club, give up and attack the North and South Canal Basin? However, no matter how we negotiate, my Qinglong Club has already laid out in the two river basins. Do you think we will retreat? Yan Nanfei said coldly. Is that so? It seems that we should let Master Yan know the strength of the great general's palace. Liao's expression turned cold. He took a step forward suddenly. Suddenly, the surging true energy rushed into the sky, and a terrifying divine power also burst out instantly, sweeping towards Yan Nanfei together. Qinglong Club, 3 dragons. Li Chen's Hao appeared in the North and South Canal Basin, which shows that he is making a big move. So if you want, Qinglong Club, to give up entering the North and South Canal Basin, there is only one way, that is to let Qinglong Club see the strength of the great general's palace. This is also the reason why this Liao showed enough strength when he appeared. Humph, Yan Nanfei snorted coldly. There was a cold light in his eyes. The divine power also burst out. Yan Nanfei's divine power was a black shadow. The shadow was a little hazy, revealing a chill that made people feel bone-chilling. When the shadow appeared, a long sword appeared in his hand. Yan Nanfei's own weapon was the rose sword, but the rose sword did not follow him out. His sword was an ordinary soft sword. When he drew the soft sword from his waist, a sword energy rushed into the sky. Buzz! The surging sword energy, accompanied by a cold breath, made the surrounding space cold. Your divine power is actually a shadow. It seems that you have a big plan. Liao looked at the divine power shadow that appeared behind Yan Nanfei, and his eyes showed a solemn look. The black flame energy in his body started to circulate quickly. It poured into his palm like a flame. These flames were condensed into a black spear by him. When the black spear was condensed, a sky-high black flame also broke out in his body, and with a divine power behind him, he was like a fire god in the dark. Boom! With a move of his footsteps, his figure shot out instantly. God of fire, angry flame, the spear in his hand shot out violently, turning into a stream of black light. The spear was fast. Yan Nanfei's sword was not slow either. The cold sword energy burst out, also turning into a stream of light, colliding with the black spear light. Bang! At the moment of collision, the sword energy and black flames exploded. The cold sword energy swept the surrounding air, and the black flames spread around, colliding with the ground, and cracks spread out on the ground. One strike. It is not clear who will win for now. But at this time, Yan Nanfei's figure turned into a black shadow and appeared in front of the opponent. The longsword in his hand shot violently, and countless sword lights enveloped Liao. The sword light was fast, colliding with the air, making a terrifying explosion sound, stimulating Liao's ears. Liao's face changed drastically. He didn't expect that after one strike, the opponent's speed of attack would be so fast. Red flame armor, red flame arm, boom! Liao shouted, and then his skin began to turn red, and his blood began to boil. With a leaking black flame key, the whole person suddenly burned like a boiling volcano, and a layer of red and black key armor appeared on his body, and also on his arms. He moved his feet, raised his hands, and punched out. Boom boom boom. Instantly, several fists burst out in succession, and the fists collided with the sword light, making a terrifying explosion. The falling sword light was all blocked. Liao's face showed a trace of ferociousness. His figure moved his feet and instantly came in front of Yan Nanfei. His palms became claws, and he went towards Yan Nanfei like thunder. Have you forgotten something? The longsword in Yan Nanfei's palm suddenly seemed to disappear. He stretched out his hands and collided with the opponent's falling palms. Boom! At the moment of collision, a terrifying suction appeared in Yan Nanfei's palm. In a blink of an eye, the key on the opponent's arm was sucked into Yan Nanfei's palm. The speed was faster than before. For a moment, the opponent's movements were affected. During this time, Yan Nanfei suddenly raised his other hand and grabbed. The terrifying suction force instantly erupted. The opponent's body was sucked directly in front of him. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 917, Strong Killing, Dooku's Calculation for Me. The price of arrogance is death, Yan Nanfei snorted coldly. The power in his palm increased. The power of Liao poured into his body like a tide. You, let me go. Liao couldn't mobilize the true energy in his body at this moment. He could only roar, hoping that Yan Nanfei would let him go. You can't kill me. If you kill me, you can't afford the price, Liao shouted in a struggle. But no matter how he struggled and shouted, Yan Nanfei's expression did not change. He already had the intention to kill, so how could he let the other party go? Not to mention that by absorbing the power in the other party's body, he could go further. Special Envoy Li, I'll help you. At this time, a figure rushed over. This person's figure soared into the air, carrying a knife light, like a thunderbolt, tearing through the air and slashing towards Yan Nanfei's back. The move was decisive. And it was at this time. If Yan Nanfei didn't let go, then his knife light would be able to split Yan Nanfei. Boom! The key in Yan Nanfei's body surged and formed a key gang. It collided with a long sword that was chopped down. Swish! The key disappeared. The knife key chopped on Yan Nanfei's back. But when the knife key chopped on Yan Nanfei's back, a black airflow appeared on Yan Nanfei's back, eroding all the knife key. Ah! At this moment, Liao screamed, and the key in his body was absorbed by Yan Nanfei. Yan Nanfei grabbed the opponent's chest with his palm. Bang! A key rushed into the opponent's body. The opponent's internal organs were shattered by the key in an instant. Puff! Liao spurted blood from his mouth. The blood contained internal organs, and he looked at Yan Nanfei unwillingly. Fight! But he didn't expect the opponent to kill him. You, plop! The body fell to the ground. I said that the price of arrogance is death. Yan Nanfei looked at the man who drew the knife. The man who attacked was a man in black. He looked at Yan Nanfei with horror. Just now, his sword broke through the opponent's key and slashed on the opponent's body. But he did not cause any damage to the opponent. This made him unbelievable. How is this possible? Nothing is impossible. If you attack, you will have to pay the price, Yan Nanfei said with cold eyes. If the opponent attacks him, he will definitely not let the opponent leave alive. At the moment of speaking, Yan Nanfei moved. The soft sword that disappeared in his hand appeared again, and the sword light came out in an instant. It turned into a storm of sword light and swept towards the man who drew the sword. The man who drew the sword was in shock. In an instant, he felt that he was in a terrifying sword storm. His eyes and ears could not see or perceive any external situation. An extremely terrifying feeling arose in his heart. The hair on his body stood up, and a shadow of death appeared and swept his body. At this extremely oppressive moment, he slashed a long sword in his hand instantly. He hoped to break the sword light. Swish! The knife light appeared and collided with the sword light, and in the blink of an eye, the knife light was swallowed by the sword light. He wanted to retreat. But suddenly, a sword light burst out from the sword energy. The sword light appeared at his throat. He only felt a chill in his throat. The long knife in his hand paused. It fell to the ground with a clang. He looked down at his throat. A long sword pierced through. Swish! The long sword was pulled out and blood spurted. He could even see his own blood. Why should I take action? If I don't take action, I won't die. This was what he thought in his heart. Plop! The whole person fell to the ground. Yan Nanfei retracted his long sword. He glanced at Liu Chunayan not far away. If you want to intimidate our Qinglong society, then send some stronger masters. Yan Nanfei snorted coldly and turned to leave. Liu Chunayan of the Paradise Palace looked shocked and looked at the back of Yan Nanfei leaving. After a long time, a figure appeared in front of Liu Chunayan. Looking at the two corpses on the ground, The leader of the Qinglong Society is really strong, the visitor said in admiration. Why did it become like this? Liu Chunyan looked at the visitor and asked in a deep voice. How should I know this? Everything was decided by Liao. I just came here to cooperate with him, the man said softly. Humph. If you don't say it, then I will tell you everything that happened here. Liu Chunyan looked at the visitor and said. Aren't you afraid that I will kill you? A cold light appeared in the visitor's eyes. You can kill me, but if you kill me, you will not survive, Liu Chunyan said. You can die in the hands of Yan Nanfei, the visitor said softly. But Yan Nanfei didn't kill me. If he didn't kill me, you wouldn't dare to kill me, because Yan Nanfei didn't die. As long as the people behind him contact the Qinglong Society, they will know that he didn't kill me, but I died, and then everyone will suspect you. I don't think you will do such a stupid thing. Liu Chunyan looked at the other party and said. You are not only beautiful, but also smart. Since you are so smart, can't you guess the reason? The visitor said in a deep voice. I don't want to guess, I want you to tell me. Liu Chunyan looked at the other party and said coldly. This is what the prince meant. The Qinglong Society appeared in the North-South Canal Basin. Do you think that you can convince the Qinglong Society with them? This is obviously impossible. So I encouraged Liao to be strong against the Qinglong Society, and it turned out to be as I expected before. The result is also the same as I guessed, the visitor said softly. Does the prince want them to send stronger people to fight against the Qinglong Society? Liu Chunyan said. But then shook his head, not only to let them send stronger people to fight against the Qinglong Society, but also to drag them into the water and let them go to the front. Do you know which force they belong to? Liu Chunyan looked at the visitor and said. I don't know, I don't speculate, I advise you not to speculate, the man said, but these two people are dead, how can we explain? We won't make any explanation. You and I are just introducers. We don't participate in the negotiation. We just need to tell the truth. We will take the bodies back now and report what happened today. After saying that, he came to the two bodies, picked up the two bodies, and turned to leave. Liu Chunyan also left. After they left, Yan Nanfei, who had disappeared earlier, walked out of the pavilion. Just after leaving, he returned again. He really wanted to see what would happen next. Liao said earlier that his identity was not simple. He really wanted to see what the other party's identity was. General Wang Dugu Weiwei, there are people behind him, Dugu Weiwei, this is to use our Qinglong Society to force the other party to end. Yan Nanfei looked at the two people who left and murmured. Then he left quickly. He wanted to report this matter to the three dragon heads Li Chen's Hao. Dugu Weiwei planned this. They probably thought that the other party had the strength to compete with them, Qinglong Society, or to deal with them, Qinglong Society. So they had to be on guard. Chapter 918, Fortune surges, strength increases, Huangfu Yunsheng suddenly appears. Xianhuan sect, in a courtyard. Li Chenshao sat on the pavilion in the courtyard. Looking at the secret letter sent by Yan Nanfei, his eyes flashed. It seems that entering the North-South Canal Basin is correct. Let me see who you are, Li Chenshao said in a flat tone. The letter was shattered. At this time, a figure walked into the small courtyard. It was the leader of Xianhuan sect, Huan Lanian. Meet the three dragon heads. Huan Lanian saluted Li Chenshao. After sending out the invitation, Li Chenshao lived in the backyard of Xianhuan sect. Even if someone saw him, they would only think that Li Chenshao was a guest invited by Xianhuan sect. Have all the people from the 12 sects come? Li Chenshao said. Only the heads of the two nearby forces, Cheng sect and Zinai Tower, have not arrived. The people from the other 10 sects have already arrived and were arranged by me in the front yard. Among these 10 sects, the heads of 8 major sects have come, and the heads of the other 2 major sects are in seclusion, and the elders are here, Huan Lanian said. Is that so? Will the people from Cheng sect and Zinai Tower arrive tomorrow? They are already on their way and will arrive tomorrow, Huan Lanian said. Okay, Li Chenshao nodded. There is one more thing. Luo Zhenqi from Huayin area came to visit me and asked me to meet him at the foot of the mountain tonight, Huan Lanian said. Luo Zhenqi is the master of Black Sky Cliff in Huayin area. Why would he come to visit me at this time and meet you at the foot of the mountain? Shouldn't he come to the mountain to have a chat? Are you an old friend of him? Li Chenshao looked at Huan Lanian and said. 3 dragon chiefs, I know him, but we are not old friends. Although Luo Junshi is the master of Black Sky Cliff, he is actually one of the generals under King Liu. I got the news that King Liu is recently summoning the leaders of the forces in the Huaiyan area to go to the King Liu's mansion for a chat. I'm afraid there will be big moves. Luo Junshi wants to see me now. I guess he came here this time because King Liu sent him here to subdue our Xianhuan sect, so that his forces can enter the Tingzhou area, Huan Lanian said. Her face was a little bitter when she said this. King Long Club came to the Tingzhou area to find their Xianhuan sect. King Liu also wanted to start with their Xianhuan sect. Is this completely embarrassing? Women? Are women easy to bully? I will go with you tonight to see what he wants to do, Li Chen's said. Now the 5 poison boys have already started to deal with King Liu. He is a grasshopper that can't jump for long. Thank you, 3 dragons, Huan Lanian hurriedly thanked. She came here, in fact, just to let Li Chen's send someone to go with her. Now the Xianhuan sect has surrendered to Li Chen's. She can't handle it. Of course she has to ask Li Chen's, but she didn't expect Li Chen's to decide to go in person. I'll go to entertain the people first, and the people from the 12 sects will come in the evening. Huan Lanian bowed and left. Another place in a courtyard in Su City, Su Chen sat cross-legged, his blood and true energy boiling all over his body. After Gu Xiantong and the others took over Dafeng Temple, Su Chen got a terrifying fortune. The fortune made him feel like he had received a strong medicine. His body was like entering the thunder and fire of heaven and earth. So he began to enter a state of retreat. Fortunately, he did not plan to leave Su City, so he bought a house with a secret room. If he was in the inn, I'm afraid what happened to him would spread quickly. The fortune of Dafeng Temple is more than any previous one. It's fierce, and there's more, so it takes a little longer to refine. Boom boom. At this moment, a terrifying heat wave radiates from his whole body, and a mighty aura keeps running in his body. The dragon-shaped light spot in his danchin is getting brighter and brighter. When this light spot is bright and bright, it also feeds back an overwhelming force, which makes his danchin expand again, and his physical strength is constantly strengthened. While strengthening his body, some of his physical skills were also improving rapidly, vaguely reaching the state of perfection. With his current body, the pressure of the divine power of ordinary powerful gods would not have any effect on him at all. Some powerful gods would probably have their divine power shattered under his fist. Coupled with his vast danchin, Su Chen felt that he could fight with the top powerful gods. As time passed, the airflow on Su Chen's body continued to disappear. He sat there, and his whole body exuded an aura as vast as the abyss. Of course, this aura gradually converged. Then the aura became ordinary. If Su Chen didn't take action, I'm afraid many people would think he was just an ordinary celestial warrior. Opened his eyes. With a simple clench of his palms, the air exploded directly. It's so cool. Su Chen murmured. He stood up and walked out of the secret room. Yuan Suan was standing outside the secret room. He saw Su Chen walk out. My lord, all the books of Dafeng Temple are in the back room of the house. I have specially vacated a few rooms. After Gu Xiantong and others took over Dafeng Temple, they began to trade with Yuan Suan. Some books and treasures were transported here. Okay, I'll go and have a look, Su Chen nodded. Just now, there was a message from Li Longxiao that Jili Palace is helping Dugu Weiwei to meet with them. Dugu Weiwei wants us, Qinglong Society, to give up entering the North-South Canal Basin. The person who came is very strong, and the person who came out was killed by Yan Nanfei. Yan Nanfei secretly got the news that the person who came was instigated by someone. It seems that Dugu Weiwei hopes that the person behind him will show up to support him and fight against us, Qinglong Society, Yuan Suan said. Do you know who the person behind Dugu Weiwei is? Su Chen asked. No news, but Yan Nanfei, judging from the fighting situation, the opponent's force should be very strong, Yuan Suan said. Let Li Chenshao handle the matter of the North-South Canal, and we will find out about it. By the way, how is the investigation of Li Yimei's mother going? Li Yimei's mother is related to the 18 palaces of Xian'an, and Su Chen really wants to know what the situation is. There is very little news. Li Yimei's father was just an ordinary person before. Once he brought back an injured woman. That woman is Li Yimei's mother. After the woman was injured, she followed her father. Later, the Li family became rich, and Li Yimei was born soon after, but at that time, Li Yimei's mother died of dystocia when giving birth to Li Yimei. There is very little news, nothing useful, Yuan Su Ein said. It seems that she left with the help of Destosha. Su Chen said. The two of them walked while talking, and soon they came to the backyard. At this moment, in another place of the Huangfu family, in the backyard, Huangfu Shiance was drinking with Feng. Thank you, brother, for the matter of the Huangfu family this time. If you have any problems in the future, Huangfu Shiance, will definitely lead the Huangfu family to help you. Huangfu Shiance took a big sip of wine and said. It's just a matter of convenience. I don't know what brother Huangfu is planning to do later. I'm afraid that a concubine of the land will not give up her plan for the Huangfu family, Feng said. The Huangfu family suffered a great loss this time, and now they can only recuperate. Huangfu Shiance sighed and said, Huangfu Shiance, you dare to collude with Qinglong society, Feng to seize the position of the head of the Huangfu family. At this time, a low voice came from outside the courtyard. Huangfu Shiance's expression changed when he heard the voice. Because this voice was the voice of the previous head of the Huangfu family, Huangfu Yunshen. Chapter 919, Pursuit, Targeting. Head of the family, Huangfu Shiance looked stunned, and said in disbelief. Feng, who was opposite him, was stunned when he heard the words. Head of the family. The only one who could be called the head of the family by Huangfu Shiance was probably Huangfu Yunshen, the previous head of the Huangfu family. Huangfu Yunshen is not dead, Feng said in his heart. But then his eyes condensed. Huangfu Yunshen at this moment might not be the previous Huangfu Yunshen. He looked at the gate of the courtyard. At this time, Huangfu Yunshen brought the remaining elders of the Huangfu family and pushed the door into the courtyard. He looked at Huangfu Shiance angrily. Huangfu Shiance, you colluded with the Qinglong society and killed the disciples of the Huangfu family. I will avenge the disciples of the Huangfu family today. The voice was heartbreaking and deafening. Bang! With a move of his footsteps, his figure shot towards Huangfu Shiance. He didn't give Huangfu Shiance a chance to speak at all. The true energy in his body circulated rapidly. A blue chill burst out from his body, and he clenched his palm into a fist and rushed towards Huangfu Shiance at a very fast speed. Huangfu Shiance's expression changed, but he did not drag his feet. He moved forward, his palm became a knife, and the hot flame true ki came out in an instant, turning into a flame knife that swept the opponent. Huangfu Yunshen is the head of the Huangfu family. If he died in his hands, if the outside world spreads it, it will be exactly as Huangfu Yunshen said before. It was him, Huangfu Shiance, who colluded with the Qinglong society to seize the position of the head of the Huangfu family and slaughter the disciples of the Huangfu family. The children of the family are different from ordinary martial artists. They focus on practice and reputation. The flame knife collided with a fist. The fist shattered the flame knife. However, his body was blocked and his movement was a step slower. Empress D, if you have the guts, come out and control the head of my Huangfu family, hiding your head and showing your tail, Huangfu Shiance said coldly. While speaking, he had come in front of Huangfu Yunshen, and his palms kept slapping down, and the flames of true energy kept covering Huangfu Yunshen. He blocked Huangfu Yunshen's violent figure. Roar! Huangfu Yunshen roared after being blocked. A divine aura appeared on his body. The divine power appeared, and a shadow of a crescent moon appeared behind him. Divine power, moon wheel 3 yin true water knives, Huangfu Yunshen shouted, raised his palms, and the true energy burst out. In a blink of an eye, 3 long swords appeared. The long swords were filled with cold air. Boom! 3 swords slashed out. The terrifying sword energy carried the waves and attacked Huangfu Shiance. Huangfu Shiance's eyes changed. The divine power on his body burst out. A punch was blasted out, and the sun burst into flames. Boom! A violent wave of air swept out in the huge explosion. Under this huge impact, the two figures rushed to both sides. Huangfu Shiance and Huangfu Yunshen both had blood at the corners of their mouths. Huangfu Shiance's injury, although recovered by recuperation, but not completely recovered after all. Huangfu Yunshen's strength is weaker than Huangfu Shiance. But he seems to be uninjured. Red Flame, Blazing Sun Finger, 9 Yin, Mysterious Ice Fist, after the attack. Both of them did not stop at all and quickly attacked again. Bang! The two forces collided again. Then two figures were seen constantly intertwining. For a while, there was no winner. Kill. At this time, the elders of the Huangfu family saw Feng, and suddenly a red light flashed in their eyes. They rushed towards Feng, and all the energy on their bodies burst out. They turned around and appeared in front of Feng. Swish! The elder who rushed to Feng first, the sword flashed, and his body was split in two. Huangfu Shiants would hold back, but Feng would not hold back. These people were controlled. It would be better to die. Kill with one strike. But the people behind him did not stop and still rushed over. Feng stood up and disappeared suddenly. The sword flashed. All the figures who rushed over fell to the ground. Blood flowed out. He looked around. His brows slightly frowned, because he did not sense other people. Could it be that the Earth concubine just wanted to rely on Huangfu Yansheng to take down the Huangfu family? Feng was a little confused. The Earth concubine has been in the Huangfu family for so many years and has controlled so many people. The means would not be so simple. His brows slightly frowned. Boom. At this time, Huangfu Shiants and Huangfu Yansheng separated. The moment they separated, Huangfu Yansheng saw the corpse on the ground, turned around, and ran away. This, Huangfu Shiants' eyes condensed, and his figure instantly followed. Feng's expression moved slightly. I really want to see what means you have. His figure also moved and followed. The three figures were extremely fast and soon left the Huangfu family. In a forest, Huangfu Shiants followed closely behind Huangfu Yansheng, and Feng followed behind him. Brother Huangfu, seeing this, Feng shouted to Huangfu Shiants, but Huangfu Shiant seemed not to hear him, and he approached Huangfu Yansheng faster and raised his palm. A palm fell and the red sun flames blasted out. Huangfu Yansheng backhanded to resist, and the two fought again. Feng stopped. The moment he stopped, a terrifying energy suddenly appeared behind him. A gray figure, with a brilliant silver light bursting out from his palm, swept his back. HMPH, Feng snorted coldly. He turned the long sword in his hand and a sword light slashed out. The sword light was covered with silver light. Bang! The silver light was shattered. But at this time, a figure shot out from the ground, and the figure that shot out let out a low roar, sky ape roar, boom. Behind the figure that rushed out, a terrifying ape appeared, with its mouth wide open, and terrifying sound waves burst out. Roar. The terrifying sound waves turned into visible ripples and went towards Feng, in order to influence Feng to continue to attack the gray figure. However, they were facing Feng. Feng had previously fought with the ancestor of the Huangfu family and suffered some injuries, but now there is a trading panel, and he got some quick recovery pills. The injuries in his body have healed. His mind is even calmer than water, and the sword in his hand slashed. The terrifying sound waves were instantly disintegrated under this ordinary sword energy. After one sword, Feng's figure suddenly disappeared from the spot. When he appeared again, his figure had already appeared behind the previous gray figure. The gray figure seemed to sense someone behind him, and his face changed. He casually slapped his palm behind him, but the sword light appeared. The sword light split the palm power, and the gray figure was instantly split into two by the sword light. It seems that you are targeting me. Feng killed the gray figure with his sword, and looked at the other person calmly. The man's blood and energy surged. The whole person was like a monkey, emitting terrifying physical strength. Boom. At this moment, Huangfu Shiants and Huangfu Yansheng separated. Huangfu Shiants looked solemn. Brother Z, I'm anxious, Huangfu Shiants said to Feng. You held back, otherwise Huangfu Yun would not be alive until now, and would not be able to track us, Feng said calmly. Chapter 920, I only need one sword to kill you. The sword master of the Qinglong Society is extraordinary. He is still so calm in this situation. I don't know where you get such great confidence. An old man with white hair and beard walked out from the dark. He can use power beyond the concentration of the sea, while speaking. A man wearing black armor and holding a long halberd walked out from one place. A wild, domineering and terrifying aura burst out from his body. I didn't expect so many people to appear at once. I wonder if the Earth concubine has come. Feng looked at the people who appeared and said, Kill you, you will see it after you die, the white-haired old man said coldly. You surrounded and killed me, aren't you afraid of me, the Qinglong Society? I am the sword master of the Qinglong Society. You surrounded and killed me like this, it is a declaration of war, Feng said in a deep voice. Humph, kill you, who knows, it is us who killed you. If you die, You will die at the hands of Huangfu Yunshen. What does it have to do with us? The white-haired old man said. Then you may not understand the principles of our Qinglong society. The principle of our Qinglong society is that we would rather kill someone by mistake than let anyone go. As long as something happens to me, everyone who has anything to do with me must die, Feng said in a cold voice. No need to waste words with him, kill him. When Feng said this, the big man with a flesh body like an ape moved his feet. Boom. His body shot violently. At this moment, a terrifying blood-colored airwave appeared on his body, and the airwave was surging. It was mighty and bloody. A punch was thrown out. The punch was like a blood dragon, soaring thousands of miles. Kill. After the big man made a move, the white-haired old man changed his old state, and his momentum changed, with an aura that looked down on the world and was the only one in the world. And the divine power on his body burst out. Two bright moonlights appeared faintly. Divine power, time and glory. Time is like a knife. With a low shout, he moved his footsteps, and his body turned into knife light, slashing towards Feng. The knife light was like water. The white-haired old man moved. The man holding the long halberd and wearing armor, with a bang, his body exploded, and the murderous aura soared into the sky. The long halberd in his hand exuded a terrifying and incomparable power. He slashed out suddenly, and the bloody aura permeated the long halberd. In an instant, the murderous aura was like a dragon. The three attacked Feng at the same time. Huangfu Xian saw this and turned around, wanting to help Feng, but when he turned around, Huangfu Yunshen moved. Puff. He spurted out a mouthful of blood. The aura on his body suddenly surged again, his eyes turned red, and his body suddenly rushed towards Huangfu Xian's. Huangfu Xian's raised his hand. He slapped it with one palm. His palm collided with Huangfu Yunshen's fist. Bang! The whole person was shocked and flew backwards. Huangfu Xian spat out a mouthful of blood, and his body hit the ancient tree in the forest. The ancient tree broke. Huangfu Yunshen succeeded in one strike, and his palm became a claw, grabbing Huangfu Xian's head with one claw. Huangfu Xian dodged hurriedly. He was caught in Huangfu Yunshen's attack for a while. On the other side, Feng, who was attacked by three people, looked calm. A sword energy appeared in his body. The sword energy appeared and flowed into the long sword in his hand. A crisp sword chant sounded on the long sword. Everything is down, only my sword, to kill you. I only need one sword. Boom! The sword energy soared into the sky. This time, Feng transferred the sword energy in his body into the Z family sword in his hand. The Z family sword in Feng's hand looked like an ordinary sword. That was because Feng had been nurturing the Z family god family, and he had never flowed into the sword energy normally. He just used it as an ordinary long sword. At this moment, he wanted to show the power of Z family's magic sword. Boom! Originally, three surging ki appeared. Under this sword energy, they were instantly suppressed. The three people who had made a move, when they heard Feng's words, their expressions became ferocious, and their hands did not stop at all. Going towards Feng, the sword energy filled the long sword. For a moment, the monstrous sword energy rushed to the sky. Boom! Suddenly, Feng and the Z family's long sword seemed to merge into one. At this moment, Feng turned into 100-foot sword energy. Boom! The sword energy fell and instantly enveloped the area where they were. At this moment, the sword energy was like a waterfall falling from a river or the Milky Way in the sky. An indescribable sharp sword energy enveloped the four directions. One sword covered the four directions. Seeing this, the three people who had made a move roared, gave up the attack, and tried their best to resist the falling sword energy. Boom! Powerful power broke out in their bodies. But under this sword energy, those powers were instantly dispersed and shattered. Finally, the sword light hit the three people. Bang! Dust and smoke flew on the ground, covering the mountains and forests. When the dust and sword energy disappeared, Feng stood with a sword in his hand. The three people around him half knelt on the ground. There were countless blood holes pierced by the sword energy on their bodies. Even the man in the black armor had countless sword holes pierced by the sword energy. Blood dripped on the ground along the sword holes. Your sword? The man in the black armor looked at Feng, his pupils widened. His eyes were horrified. A sword. The sword fell like a waterfall. All directions were shocked. The three of them failed to block Feng's sword. We were defeated without using the strength above the sea of concentration. Aren't you injured? Why are you still so strong? How is this possible? The white-haired old man hummed in his mouth, his tone full of disbelief. The strong man was unwilling to give up. Blood kept pouring out of his body, and he wanted to make a sound in his throat, but he couldn't make a sound. He fell to the ground with a plop. On the other side, Huang Fuxiance was seriously injured again. When he was seriously injured, Huang Fuxiance fled towards Zi Xiaofeng. Huang Fuyansheng saw this, and he did not stop at all, and continued to kill Huang Fuxiance, not caring about Zi Xiaofeng at all. Kill him, Zi Xiaofeng said. He raised the long sword in his hand. A sword slashed out. Huang Fuyansheng saw this, and his face showed a look of horror. His body retreated quickly, and he did not dare to take Zi Xiaofeng's sword at all. Zi Xiaofeng stepped forward. When he stepped forward, Huang Fuxiance, who was injured before and was now beside Zi Xiaofeng, had a flash of red light in his eyes. His body suddenly moved. He clenched his palm. A fist attacked Zi Xiaofeng's back. The speed was so fast that it tore through the air, not giving Zi Xiaofeng any chance to react. Of course, he also seized the opportunity. Zi Xiaofeng drew his sword. The sword has not returned yet. Die, half kneeling. The white-haired old man and the man in armor who had not died yet roared in their hearts when they saw this. The fist hit Zi Xiaofeng's back. Bang! Zi Xiaofeng's body was knocked flying by this punch. The long sword slashed on the ground. Puff! A mouthful of blood spurted out. It was sprinkled on the ground. The sword energy on his body seemed to be dispersed by this punch. Huang Fuxiance, you? Zi Xiaofeng looked at Huang Fuxiance with an incredible look. Huang Fuxiance's eyes were cold at this moment. Brother Zi, this game was set up for you by Lady Divai. You lost? Huang Fuxiance looked at Zi Xiaofeng and said. Chapter 921. You plotted against me, and I plotted against you. You cooperated with the Earth Concubine. Ahem. Zi Xiaofeng coughed as he spoke, and blood spurted out of his mouth. He didn't cooperate with me, but was controlled by me. So many people fought for you. Zi Xiaofeng, you deserved to lose. At this time, the Earth Concubine in a black dress came out from the dark, looking at Zi Xiaofeng with cold eyes. Behind her was an old man in a gray robe. Earth Concubine, looking at the Earth Concubine who appeared, Zi Xiaofeng struggled to stand up. You planned me so carefully, just to kill me, Zi Xiaofeng said in a deep voice. Of course not, I hope you are like them. The Earth Concubine looked at Zi Xiaofeng and said. You want to control me? Hearing this, Zi Xiaofeng said with a condensed look in his eyes. If I control you, I believe I will be able to know more about the Qinglong Society, and infiltrate the Qinglong Society, not to mention that I don't have to be an enemy of the Qinglong Society, or I can use the power of the Qinglong Society to expand my strength. That's why I plotted against you so carefully. After all, I would suffer huge losses if I plotted against you. Defei looked at Zi Xiaofeng and said coldly. I didn't expect that you would have such ambitions and actually want to erode my Qinglong Society. Do you really think you can control me? Zi Xiaofeng looked at Defei and said. Cough cough. While speaking, he coughed again. Since I have shown up, of course I am sure of it. The changes in the martial arts world have made them forget my other identity as the Earth Concubine. I am not only the Earth Concubine of the Demon Sect, but also the Sect Master of the Earth Demon Sect. What is the highest secret skill of my Earth Demon Sect? It is the Heaven and Earth Transformation Technique, a technique that can affect the mind. Over the years, I have cultivated it to the highest level. I can already affect the divine power and control your mind. Of course, maybe I couldn't do it when you were at your peak, but now that you are seriously injured, you can't resist my mental attack at all. The Earth Concubine looked at Zi Xiaofeng and said. Really? Then you are really confident, but do you really think I am injured? At this time, Zi Xiaofeng looked at the Earth Concubine and said. Hearing this, the Earth Concubine's expression changed, and she looked at Zi Xiaofeng with a serious look. Isn't that to lure you out? Will you come out if I'm not hurt? This time, the trap is obviously aimed at me. I really want to know how you can be sure to deal with me at such a cost. After thinking about it, the only person who can do this is someone who can get close to me and attack me unexpectedly. There is only one such person in the Huangfu family, and that is Huang Fuxiance. You can control Huang Fuyanchen, so you can also control Huang Fuxiance. I, Zi Xiaofeng, have been in the martial arts world all my life, and I have encountered countless conspiracies and tricks. You want to plot against me in this way? Defei, you can't do it yet. This time, I will kill you and eliminate the people of the Huangfu family. The Huangfu family controls the territory, and our Qinglong Club will just take it down. Feng looked at Defei and said, you also want the Huangfu family? Hearing Feng's words, Defei's expression turned cold. Why can't we have the Huangfu family? I originally wanted to absorb Huangfu science. But it's a pity, Feng sighed. Earth concubine, I'll go and test it. At this time, the old man next to Earth concubine spoke. At the moment of speaking, his figure flashed and went towards Feng. The speed was so fast that he raised his palm and a sword light appeared in the other party's hand. The sword energy was sharp. And when the sword energy appeared, the other party stretched out his other palm, which was black and poisonous. The sword energy went forward and the poisonous palm was behind. Feng snorted coldly. He moved his body and didn't feel any breath fluctuations. He only saw the sword light and the figure flashed. But the old man who made the move had a big change of expression, because he saw a long sword in his pupils. Feng's speed surpassed him. Seeing this, there was no need to test. The other party was not injured. He retreated violently. He didn't dare to make another move. It was just that he retreated quickly, and Feng's sword was faster. He couldn't dodge at all. Boom. He could only retract his sword light immediately and burst out a terrifying energy around him, forming a strong energy. And burst out with his own divine power. Bang! The sword light flashed. The divine power, sword light, and key gang of the gray-robed old man were all shattered in an instant. His body flew backwards and hit the ground. His face was pale. Although his face was pale, he also felt that he had survived a disaster. You failed to kill me. He looked at Feng like this. Just when he said this, a sword mark appeared between his eyebrows. Ah! The old man screamed and his head cracked. The whole person instantly lost his breath. Seeing this, the face of the earth concubine changed. Feng just shattered the divine power, the key gang, and the sword light with a sword. The speed was too fast. And in this, he did not use the power that surpassed the concentration in the sea. Swish! Swish! Just when the earth concubine was surprised, two sword lights burst out from Feng's hands. Huangfu Shiants and Huangfu Chen, who were standing aside, had two sword key in front of them. They couldn't dodge at all. The sword key entered the body. Bang! The whole person turned into blood mist. You are so cruel. Seeing this, the Defei's eyes turned cold. Feng's attack was too cruel. At this time, the two people who were not dead yet also lost their breath because they were surprised by Feng's attack. Only Defei was left in the field. If there's someone, call it out. If not, I will send you to death. Feng looked at Defei and said. Feng, I didn't expect that I planned such a perfect game, but I still lost to you. I don't want to believe it, but I did lose. In this case, you should fight. Divine power, the devil dances wildly. Boom! Defei burst out her divine power, and graceful figures appeared in the divine power. These figures exuded endless charm. In an instant, the surroundings seemed to have entered a paradise. Heaven and earth change, the devil charms, the divine power burst out, and Defei shouted. A black light appeared at the center of her eyebrows. After the black light appeared, it instantly merged into the surrounding void. However, an invisible wave was revealed, covering Feng. At this moment, the figure of the earth concubine gradually merged with the endless charming figures around. And it was impossible to tell which one was the earth concubine for a while. Feng's eyes condensed. His mind sank into the sword. The sword heart was clear, and he cut. Feng's body merged with a long sword in his hand, turning into a sword light. The sword light directly cut towards the figure. Swish! The sword light disappeared. The endless charming shadows around also disappeared. Feng's figure appeared, and on the other side, the earth concubine stood in another place. She turned her head and looked at Feng. How can you find me? There was disbelief in her voice. The swordsman cuts everything. The sword heart man knows everything. Feng's voice came. Bang! The sword energy in the body of the earth concubine burst, and her whole body turned into a ball of blood mist. Chapter 922, Heavenly Sword Saint Sect Outer Gate Token, Unconscious Sword Soul. The forest was silent. A black figure appeared in front of Feng. Greetings to the Sword Master, the visitor bowed. No need to keep the people of the Huangfu family, take all the things away, Zizai Feng said calmly. Huangfu Shiants and Huangfu Yunsheng were both dead, and rumors that the Qinglong Society was plotting against the Huangfu family would inevitably spread. In this case, then just take down the Huangfu family. The Huangfu family is one of the 4 great families, so there must be a lot of treasures. Yes, the visitor quickly retreated. These people were the assassins of the Qinglong Society in Jiangnan. As the sword master of the Qinglong Society, Zizai Feng could certainly mobilize them. The next day, the news that the Huangfu family was destroyed spread. Some said that it was the Qinglong Society who did it, and some said that it was the demon sect's concubine who did it. The truth and falsehood shook the entire Jiangnan world. Among the 4 great families, the Nangong family, the Muran family, and the Huangfu family, 3 great families were destroyed one after another, and now only the Zeman family is left. The outside world is saying how long the Zeman family can survive. Compared to the rumors in the outside world, there is one more room in the manor where Su Chen is located, which is transferred from the Huangfu family. Of course, Su Chen's strength has improved a step further, and the golden dot of the second dragon has appeared faintly. This earth concubine plotted against Zizai Feng, but she didn't expect to be plotted and killed by Zizai Feng. Su Chen could only shake his head. This earth concubine is a little worse than the heaven concubine, and she also underestimated Zizai Feng. Who is Zizai Feng? He is a man who is feared by the martial arts world. The Divine Sword Villa can become a martial arts holy land and a forbidden area in the martial arts world, which shows how powerful Zizai Feng is. This kind of power sometimes cannot be achieved by strength alone. This earth concubine died unjustly. Is the earth concubine a member of the demon sect? I wonder what arrangements the demon sect will make when they get this news, Su Chen thought to himself. Is there any trace of the heaven concubine? There is no trace of us here, but it is rumored that the Jiangnan Pacification Office has obtained some clues from Qin Beiming, Yuan Su'in said. This Jiangnan Pacification Office is really different, Su Chen exclaimed. My lord, tonight, Yuan Xianhun, the head of the Jiangnan Pacification Division, will meet with the second dragon head in Jinling City. Now we can know what kind of person Yuan Xianhun is. Everyone knows the head of the Jiangnan Pacification Division, but it is difficult for people outside to see him. He rarely shows up. And Yuan Xianhun is the confidant of Emperor Zhou, and there is very little news about him in the outside world. This meeting can also find out some details about this person. Pay more attention to the movements of the capital. In the Jiangnan region, the strength of the Qinglong Club is unquestionable, but the capital is a little worse. Now that the capital is changing, he must pay close attention to it. I understand, Yuan Su'in nodded. At this time, a servant came over from a distance. Master, Yuan General Manager, the servant who came and bowed and saluted. What's the matter? Yuan Su'in said. Yuan General Manager. Someone just sent you an invitation and said that you must open it in person, said the servant. You want me to open the invitation myself? Yuan Su'in frowned slightly, took the invitation, opened it, and frowned slightly. You go down first, Yuan Su'in waved his hand. The servant bowed and retreated. My lord, is it the heavenly concubine of the demon sect who asked me to meet? Yuan Su'in said. The heavenly concubine, she asked you to meet her, so you go to meet her and see what she wants to do, Su Chen said. Then I will arrange it first, Yuan Su'in said. Su Chen nodded. After Yuan Su'in left, Su Chen went to the direction of the treasury. Read these things as soon as possible and pass them out. After he sorted out the things in Defeng Temple, he got 10 orange lottery cards. On the way to the treasury, Su Chen first drew 5, obtained 1 Shineman above Heaven Sword Saint Sect Outer Disciple Identity Token Exclusive Character Zizai Feng, obtained an Unconscious Sword Soul Exclusive Character Zizai Feng, obtained 30 Years of Iron Blood True Key Exclusive Character Tais Hong Tang, obtained a Sun Soul Exclusive Character Yi, obtained a Moon Soul Exclusive Character Day. These 5 things surprised Su Chen a little. The first 2 were for Zizai Feng, and the other 2 were for Tais Hong Tang, Day, and Day. Among them, Zizai Feng got the Xianjian Saint Sect Outer Disciple Identity Token. Shouldn't this be more suitable for Gu Xiantong who has the Xiansheng sword body? Su Chen thought so in his heart. Check out the Xianjian Saint Sect Outer Disciple Token. This identity token is a reward issued by the Xianjian Saint sect to those who have made contributions to the sect. In other words, you can use this token to enter the Xianjian Saint sect and directly become an outer disciple. I didn't expect it to be like this. I just don't know how the Xianjian Saint sect is above, Su Chen thought in his heart. Then he looked at the unconscious sword soul. This sword soul corresponds to the outer disciple token in front. The unconscious sword soul was the sword soul left by a fallen elder of the Heavenly Sword Saint sect. Although he had no consciousness, he also inherited a set of sword art techniques called Sword of All Things Born Naturally, which looked very powerful. Sun Soul. An essence condensed from the hot land of heaven and earth, which can help improve his cultivation and qualifications. The essence condensed from the extremely yin land of Moon Soul can also improve his cultivation and qualifications. It can be said that these two things have improved the strength of ED and the future. He glanced at the remaining 5 orange lottery cards. Su Chen did not draw any more. At this moment, Tingzhou area. Xianhuan sect. Today is the day when the new leader of Xianhuan sect takes the throne. The hall is full of guests. The heads or elders of the 13 sects of Tingzhou, as well as some other leaders of forces who came to congratulate. Some disciples of Xianhuan sect were holding wine vessels and placing them in front of these people. Xianhuan sect leader Huan Lanayan was standing in the hall. Master Huan, why do you suddenly want to abdicate? I wonder who the new leader will be, a middle-aged man in white clothes said. Bai Chang, the leader of the 13 sects, Chang sect. They are close to Xianhuan sect and there are some frictions between them. The new leader of Xianhuan sect appears. Bai Chang is most concerned. Master Bai, don't worry, you will know who the new leader is in a while, Huan Lanayan in the center of the hall said. I'm just a little curious, who can convince so many elders of Xianhuan sect to become the next leader of Xianhuan sect? After all, I have prepared a generous gift for your new leader of Xianhuan sect, Bai Chang said. Really? I heard that you brought a generous gift to me. I don't know what the gift is. I really want to see it. At this time, a low voice came from the door of the hall. Who is it? Dare to play tricks on this leader? Hearing the voice, Bai Chang's eyes turned cold and looked at the door of the hall. The voice was a man's voice. Only women can be the leader of Xianhuan sect. How could the person who came be the leader of Xianhuan sect? In his eyes, a figure walked in from outside. When entering the hall, a storm-like terrifying and domineering aura burst out from the other party and spread to every corner. The space in the hall seemed to be unable to bear the weight and made crackling sounds, as if it would break at any time. Chapter 923. Li Chen's How alone suppresses the 12 sects, strong and domineering, invincible heart. Boom. When this breath swept through the hall, the person who appeared stepped forward and headed towards the Xianhuan sect's chair in the center of the hall. One step after another. But every step he took, the space in the hall was squeezed endlessly. At this moment, the Xianhuan sect's main hall seemed to have entered another space. In this space, only one figure was seen, an extremely domineering figure. The figure passed slowly. But the hearts of the people in the hall seemed to be severely squeezed, and they dared not spit out half of the air. Who is this person? What's going on? This is what everyone in the hall thought. They don't understand why such a person would appear when the new leader of the Xianhuan sect succeeds. Huan Lanayan, who was standing in the center, looked horrified. She knew that Li Chen's was strong, but she was not as shocked as this time before. She had seen Li Chen's strength twice. The first time, he was unable to resist her at all. The second time was last night. She went with Li Chen's to meet Luo Junshi, who came from the Huaiyan area. Luo Junshi's purpose, as she guessed, was to take down their Xianhuan sect. Following her to Li Chen's, he didn't waste any words with the other party. After he appeared, he killed the other party with one punch. The punch was earth-shaking. He didn't give Luo Junshi any chance to attack. But that was Li Chen's compared to the Li Chen's who appeared now. At this moment, Li Chen's was even more domineering. In a trance, she thought that the other party was a god who stood tall and upright, standing between heaven and earth. Boom. Under the extremely nervous mentality of everyone, Li Chen's sat in the position of the leader of Xianhuan sect. A pair of eyes, cold and domineering, looked at everyone in the hall as if looking down on ants. It's him, the 3 dragon heads of Qinglong society, Li Chen's. At this time, some people looked at Li Chen's sitting on the chair of the leader of Xianhuan sect with horror. When they knew the identity of the other party, they had a bad premonition in their hearts. How could Li Chenshao set his eyes on the position of the leader of Xianhuan sect? This time, the ceremony of the new leader of Xianhuan sect might be a trap. I am Li Chenshao, the third leader of the Qinglong Society. I invite you all here today for only one thing, that is, all the sects and forces in the Tingxiao area will be loyal to our Qinglong Society, from today on, Li Chenshao said in a cold tone. Hearing Li Chenshao's words, everyone's face changed drastically. Some people recognized Li Chenshao. Although they already had a bad premonition in their hearts, they were also shocked to hear Li Chenshao say this. However, due to the pressure of the breath emitted by Li Chenshao, no one responded for a while. Li Chenshao looked at Bai Cheng of Cheng sect who had spoken earlier. Master Bai, you should express your attitude first. After all, you just said that you would give me a gift. Li Chenshao looked at Bai Cheng and said. Hearing Li Chenshao's words, Huan Lanian, who was standing aside, sneered in his heart. I let you talk too much, and now you are in trouble. If you don't express your attitude, I'm afraid you can only die. Huan Lanian knew Li Chenshao's tyranny. As for Bai Cheng, who was facing Li Chenshao, his heart was trembling at the moment, and cold sweat was pouring down his forehead. Why did you come to me? Bai Cheng thought to himself. Today, our Cheng sect swears allegiance to the Three Dragons and the Blue Dragon Society, Bai Cheng said immediately. He dared not hesitate. Li Chenshao gave him too much pressure, and coupled with the current Blue Dragon Society's style of doing things to kill everything, he really did not dare to hesitate. After he finished speaking, the pressure from Li Chenshao on him disappeared. His eyes turned to an old man in brocade robes. The old man was horrified when he saw Li Chenshao looking at him. Three Dragons, I am only the chief elder of the sect. I cannot make a decision. I will go back and discuss with the sect master, and then report to the Three Dragons. If you are not the sect master, can't you decide the sect's affairs? You just need to tell me whether to surrender or not. Li Chenshao's voice was cold. I can't make the decision, the old man in brocade robes continued. He thought to himself that he should hold on. If Li Chenshao allowed himself to leave, he would flee as soon as he walked out of Xianhuan sect, report the matter to the sect master, and then unite other forces to fight against the Qinglong Society, and protect his sect's cause. Don't you want to surrender? Li Chenshao's voice sounded again in the hall. With the appearance of the voice, a terrifying pressure rushed towards the old man in brocade robe like a tide. Boom! The old man sitting on the bench had his chair broken directly, and the whole person was pressed on the ground like a toad. Unable to move, his face turned red, and he vomited blood. He tried to raise his head and wanted to say something. But he was suppressed for a while and couldn't speak. Since you don't surrender, you have no value. People with no value can only die. Li Chenshao's voice fell. He raised his palm. With a grab, the old man in brocade robe who was pressed by this was lifted into the air. Then Li Chenshao clenched his palm tightly. Bang! The old man in brocade robe exploded. Blood was scattered in the hall like a rainstorm. Many people were covered in blood, and they looked at Li Chenshao with horror. Three Dragons, we are willing to surrender. At the same time, everyone in the hall spoke at the same time. Greetings to the Three Dragons, I am Zinailao. From today on, the Three Dragons and the Azure Dragon Society will be the leaders. If there is any betrayal, 3 swords and 6 holes will be killed. A middle-aged man in a green shirt next to Bai Cheng spoke immediately. After this voice, others spoke one after another. There was no objection. They didn't want to be like the old man in brocade clothes and turned into a piece of flesh and blood. Okay, if there are people in the sect to oppose, they don't need to exist. Of course, if you can't represent the sect, then I can help you become a representative of the sect, Li Chenshao said. Hearing Li Chenshao's words, some people in the hall had shining eyes. Some of them were just elders of the sect, and their status in the sect was not very high. Li Chenshao's words clearly told them that he supported them to become the masters of the sect. Swear to be loyal to the Three Dragons until death. Some people knelt down and said directly. All the martial artists in the Jiang who want to be the master of a region. Now this is their chance. I will give you half a month to deal with the affairs of the sect. After half a month, I will announce that the 13 sects of Tingxiao will become the affiliated forces of my Qinglong Society. Li Chenshao stood up and did not stay in the hall. Seeing Li Chenshao leave, the people in the hall dared to wipe the blood off their faces. He just left like that. He is not afraid that we will regret it, Bai Cheng murmured as he watched Li Chenshao leave. Under normal circumstances, Shouldn't Li Chen's Hao have some restraining measures on them? Brother Chang, do you dare to regret it? With the strength of the 3 dragons, one person can overwhelm our 13 sects. Even if the 13 sects join forces, they are just ants in their eyes. There is no need to be wary of us. After betrayal, the only result is to be beaten to death, but this is our chance. Looking at the posture of the 3 dragons, I am afraid that it is not just to take over the Tingzhou area. Following the 3 dragons may be our opportunity to go further. The owner of the Zinai building beside him had a gleam in his eyes. When some strong men show themselves, many warriors will pledge their loyalty to them. Li Chen's Hao is such a strong man. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 924, Emperor Zhou moves. The prince wants to leave the capital. In the imperial palace of the capital, Zhu Pingsheng appeared in front of Emperor Zhou. Xian'an Pavilion, such a powerful person, have you not found out any details? Emperor Zhou asked in a deep voice. I can't find out any details about the people who appeared, as if they appeared out of thin air. Also, my subordinates have personally contacted them this time. These people have a very strong aura. Gu Shentong, Tai Hongtang, and Yao Yu all have the aura of commanding a region, Zhu Pingsheng said with a serious expression. Is that so? When you took over Defeng Temple, I got a strong aura of evil dragons, but the changes in fortunes intensified and disappeared. It seems that the changes in fortunes in Jiangnan before should be related to them, but these fortunes are not the main ones. The fortunes in the South China Sea area have disappeared for the most part. It seems that Du Wei is going to move, Emperor Zhou said in a deep voice. Your Majesty, the forces behind Du Wei should show up. I got the news that he is using the Qinglong Society to force the forces behind him to show up, Zhu Pingsheng said. Is that so, Pingsheng? Have you ever doubted who the forces behind Du Wei are? Emperor Zhou said. I actually have 3 ideas in my mind. One is the Bulao Tang, one is the person who has never appeared in the Jiangnan black market, and one is the remnant of the demon sect, Zhu Pingsheng said. Why can't it be Taoism or Buddhism? Emperor Zhou asked. Buddhism, Zen is determined to become a Buddha, and has not come out in recent years. Only the Tantric sect is outside, but the Tantric sect is much weaker than the Zen sect, and each of them is their own leader. Otherwise, when Qinglong Temple is in trouble, other Tantric sects will not stand idly by. Recently, it is rumored that a person with a Buddhist heart has appeared in Buddhism. He has been gathered by Buddhism and Zen, and is being trained with all his strength, hoping to step into the heavenly gate. Taoism did not move after this Henwu garden was destroyed. It seems that they are not going to get involved in this battle for the world. What's more, they know some of your Majesty's situation, and I'm afraid they can guess your Majesty's current thoughts, Zhu Pingsheng said. The Immortal Hall is even more mysterious than the Changsheng Society. The Changsheng Society is the shadow of the Changsheng Society above the Xianmen. I have never found out the details of the Immortal Hall, although the guy in the Jiangnan black market has gradually faded and many people don't know about him. I believe he can't sit still in this situation. The remnants of the demon sect, the heavenly concubine and the earth concubine have appeared, which shows that their foundation is still there, Zhu Pingsheng continued. Pay close attention. Has the Changsheng Island been found? Emperor Zhou asked. The island has been locked. I believe your Majesty will be able to get the Changsheng secret book soon, Zhu Pingsheng said. It's not the right time for the great elder of the Changsheng Society to leave. If he doesn't step into the Xianmen, even if he knows the location of the Changsheng Island, it will be difficult to enter. In recent times, although many forces have not taken direct action, they have made a lot of moves in secret. The world's fortune has disappeared a lot, but the evil dragon's energy has erupted a lot. So I will be in seclusion for a few days. You issue a notice to let the Ministry of Personnel and the Pacification Department select some princes to start suppressing some Jianghu forces, Emperor Zhou said. I understand, Zhu Pingsheng bowed and left the underground palace. As soon as he walked out of the underground palace, a man in black appeared in front of Zhu Pingsheng. Master, Li Chen's Hao of the Qinglong Society took over the Xianhuan sect and invited people from the 12 sects to come with the help of the Xianhuan sect. He appeared in the palace on the day of the Grand Palace and pressured the 12 sects of Tingzhou by himself, forcing them to surrender. the man in black reported. Li Chen's Hao of the Qinglong Society has also moved. It seems that he really intends to enter the North-South Canal Basin, Xianaya Pavilion, Qinglong Society, Dugu Wei, and some forces in the dark. Let them fight, and help me make an appointment with the bigwigs of the Ministry of Personnel. I want to meet them, Zhu Pingsheng said. Yes, the man in black bowed and left. Zhu Pingsheng did not return to his own palace, but came to Muren Qingzhen's palace. Meetings, Princess. Zhu Pingsheng saluted Muren Qingzhen after entering the palace. Master Zhu, go see the emperor. I wonder what he wants you to do. After Zhu Pingsheng came back from Dafeng Temple, he went to see Emperor Zhou. Now he has just come out and is here to see her. He must have something to tell her. Princess, what do you think of Xianaya Pavilion? Zhu Pingsheng said. The information on Xianaya Pavilion is incomplete and has no reference value. It is difficult to find out something from it, but from their performance, they are expanding their influence in the martial arts world. Did the emperor ask you to investigate Xianaya Pavilion? Muren Qingzhen asked. No, Xianaya Pavilion is not simple, and it is not so easy to investigate. I got the news that Du Guiwei may make a move recently. Once he makes a move, the South China Sea region will probably fall immediately. In fact, Du Guiwei is not the most important. The most important thing is the people or forces behind Du Guiwei. It is very important to find these talents. I will give the investigation of Du Guiwei's secret line to Lord Qingzhen, Zhu Pingsheng said. Master Zhu gave me the investigation of Du Guiwei's line. Is it because Du Guiwei is forcing the forces or people who support him to show up recently, or is it because the Qinglong Society is also involved in the North-South Canal? Du Guiwei is related to not only the South China Sea region, but also the North-South Canal. There were two overlords in the North-South Canal before. One was Guan Yushan, the general envoy of Xianaya Pavilion, and the other was Du Guiwei. But now Li Chen's Hao of the Qinglong Society is in a position to take over the North-South Canal. She just got the news Qinglong Club Li Chen's Hao has taken down 13 sects in the Tingzhou area. Now that the situation in the martial arts world of the Great Zhou dynasty has changed, His Majesty has just ordered me to notify the Ministry of Personnel and the Pacification Department to select some princes to suppress the martial arts forces. The matter of the North and South Canals will be arranged by the Ministry of Personnel and the Pacification Department at that time, Zhu Pingsheng said. Hearing this, Muren Qingzhen's eyes condensed and he said, the giants of the Pacification Department have now withdrawn. There is no one in charge of the Pacification Department at the moment. Are they also involved, Your Highness? Don't worry. 3 of the first 5 giants of the Pacification Department are still alive. They will take over the Pacification Department tomorrow, and will re-elect 5 deputy commanders of the Pacification Department to specifically command the Pacification Department, and except for the Jiangnan Pacification Department, the other Pacification Departments will be merged. In the future, there will be no North and South Pacification Departments, only the Great Zhou Pacification Department, Zhu Pingsheng said. Is that so? It seems that my father is determined to suppress the martial arts world, but why not use the military? The military is the last trump card, and it will not be moved until the last moment, Zhu Pingsheng said. After saying that, he turned around and left. Watching Zhu Pingsheng's back as he left, Muren Qingzhen frowned slightly. After pondering for a moment, his eyes condensed. Zhu Pingsheng, are you asking my brother to handle the North-South Canal? Muren Qingzhen murmured. Once her brother, the 4th prince, handles the North-South Canal, it also means that she also needs to contact the Qinglong Club. If it is really my brother who takes over, is it your Zhu Pingsheng's intention or my father's intention? If it is my father, it doesn't matter, but if it is you, Zhu Pingsheng, I really want to know how my brother and I offended you, Muren Qingzhen said. When she knew that she became the head of the Xianjian division, she thanked Zhu Pingsheng. But after becoming the head of the Xianjian division, she realized that she was actually a puppet placed outside by Zhu Pingsheng. Now this identity vaguely binds her. Chapter 925, Jiangnan Pacification Division, Qinglong Society, Cooperation. Jiangnan. Jinling. Late at night, the moon is bright and the stars are sparse. Deep in the Qian Tower, in an independent private room, Yuan Xianhuan, the chief of the Jiangnan Pacification Division, and Li Zunhuan, the second leader of the Qinglong Club, are sitting in the room. Second leader, this is the tea I planted in my spare time. Please taste it, Yuan Xianhun poured a cup of tea for Li Zhenhun. Thank you, Chief Yuan, for your hospitality. Li Zhenhun took a sip of the tea. The fragrance of the tea is refreshing. After drinking it, I feel a sense of tranquility after the rain. It is a rare good tea. Chief Yuan came to Jinling in person this time. I should have entertained you, but I didn't expect that you would entertain me, Li Zhenhun said. I came to see the second leader this time to ask for his help, Yuan Xianhun said. Chief Yuan, you are the chief of the Jiangnan Pacification Division, and you are also the personal attendant of Emperor Zhou. I don't know what we, the Qinglong Club, can do for you, Li Zhenhun asked calmly. Regarding the heavenly concubine of the demon sect, I would like to ask the Qinglong Society to join forces with me to encircle and suppress the heavenly concubine of the demon sect. Yuan Xianhun looked at Li Zhenhun and said. Joining forces to encircle and suppress the heavenly concubine of the demon sect. It seems that Master Yuan has already found the whereabouts of the heavenly concubine, but with Master Yuan's layout in Jiangnan, I shouldn't need the help of the Qinglong Society. Li Zhenhun was a little confused as to why Yuan Xianhun wanted to ask them for help. Why did Yuan Xianhun ask the Qinglong Society to help? Second Dragon Chief, I sincerely asked the Qinglong Society for help. This time, my Jiangnan Pacification Division is willing to take out a top-level weapon. 2 ordinary weapons, 100,000 taels of gold, 1,000-year-old blood ginseng, and a South China Sea Sky Spirit Pearl. In addition, the heavenly concubine should have obtained a secret map of the Great Chu Dynasty's secret dragon cave from the Muring family. After obtaining it, you can also give it to the Qinglong Society. Yuan Xianhun looked at Li Zhenhun and said. Hearing this, Li Zhenhun's eyes moved slightly. Yuan Xianhun's reward can be said to be generous. Although Yanfei had contact with Su Chen, they had no friendship. Moreover, Zizia Feng had killed the demon sect's earth concubine. He had already made enemies with the remaining forces of the demon sect. Now he had the opportunity to attack the demon sect's Yanfei and get valuable treasures. This deal was completely possible. Is that so? I agree with Yuan Sizhu's proposal. As long as Yuan Sizhu finds someone, we will help kill them. But we don't want the secret dragon map of the Great Chu Dynasty. If the demon sect's Yanfei gets something, we will choose 2 of them. Li Zhenhun looked at Yuan Xianhun and said. Hearing Li Zhenhun's words, Yuan Xianhun frowned slightly. After thinking for a moment, he nodded. I'll do it, second dragon head. Thank you, Yuan Sizhu. I hope you can send the things to my Qinglong Club as soon as possible. My Qinglong Club always sees things first and then takes action. While speaking, Li Zhenhun stood up. Thank you for the hospitality today, Director Yuan. We will meet again later. However, I hope to drink with Director Yuan next time we meet. Tea is too light. I like to drink. After saying that, he bowed slightly and said goodbye to Yuan Xianhun. Yuan Xianhun stood up to see Li Zhenhun off. After seeing Li Zhenhun off, Yuan Xianhun returned to the house. At this moment, 3 figures walked out of the dark room. One of the figures was wearing a mask and wrapped in a black robe. The other 2 were Sima Changhen and Lei Buhu, the 2 general envoys of the Xianjian division in Jiangnan. Judging from the situation, the man wearing a black robe and a mask should be one of the 4 general envoys in Jiangnan who had not yet appeared. What do you think of this, Li Zhenhun? Yuan Xianhun said. This person is not simple. He should have sensed the 3 of us, but he sat there without revealing a trace of aura, and it seems that as long as we move, he will take the initiative, Sima Changhen said in a deep voice. This person's strength is a bit unusual. We must be careful. The masked black-robed man spoke in a low and hoarse voice. Brother Yuan, I don't quite understand why you choose to cooperate with the Qinglong Society. According to our current layout in Jiangnan, we should be able to capture Xianfei without the Qinglong Society, Sima Changhen continued to ask. Cooperating with the Qinglong Society is also a way to find out their bottom line. Only when the Qinglong Society takes action can we find out their true bottom line. The demon sect Xianfei is not so easy to deal with. Of course I chose to meet Li Zhenhun, and I also wanted to confirm Li Zhenhun's position in the Qinglong Society, and I got the news that Xianfei is in contact with Su Chen, the young leader of the Qinglong Society. You said that now Xianfei knows that the Qinglong Society has cooperated with my pacification division. How do you think they will deal with Su Chen? Yuan Xianhun said. Hearing Yuan Xianhun's words, Sima Chang'an frowned slightly. Master Yuan, you are plotting against Su Chen. Su Chen is a very unusual person. If he knew you were plotting against him, he would probably not care about your cooperation with the Qinglong Society, and would attack you. Sima Chenghen had come into contact with Su Chen. He knew what kind of person Su Chen was. I didn't plot against him. This matter was decided by the second leader of their Qinglong Society. If Su Chen gets into trouble, the responsibility is also Li Zhenhun's business. It has nothing to do with me. I just want to cooperate with the Qinglong Society. Yuan Xianhun poured himself a cup of tea and took a sip gently. I'm just a little worried. And this Su Chen has some relationship with His Highness King Chen. I'm afraid that it will happen at that time, Sima Chang'an said. It's okay to tell you. Actually, I just wanted to contact the Qinglong Society before, and I didn't plan to cooperate with them, but Master Zhu asked me to cooperate with the Qinglong Society. Since he made such an arrangement, let's do it, Yuan Xianhun said. Hearing Yuan Xianhun's words, Sima Chang'an frowned slightly, but didn't say anything else. In this case, let's go back and prepare first, and then cooperate with Master Yuan. At this time, the man in black robe spoke. Okay. I will notify the three of you when the time comes. Yuan Xianhun had no intention of keeping the three people. Sima Chang'an and the other two bowed slightly and left quickly. The box suddenly seemed a little quiet. Zhu Pingshen, why did you plot against Su Chen? Yuan Xianhun murmured. On the other side, Su Cheng. After meeting with Xianfei, Yuan Suian returned to the mansion. My lord, Xianfei invited me to meet because she wanted to find out the news about the Great Dragon Head. I guess they want to see the Great Dragon Head, Yuan Suian said. Want to see the Grand Dragon Leader? Su Chen frowned slightly. He didn't expect that the Heavenly Concubine actually wanted to see the Grand Dragon Leader of the Green Dragon Society. When Su Chen frowned, a secret letter appeared in Yuan Suian's hand. It was just sent by Li Zhenhun through the trading mall. Yuan Suian opened the secret letter. My lord, Yuan Xianhun, the head of the Jiangnan Pacification Division, invited us, Green Dragon Society, to deal with the Heavenly Concubine. Yuan Suian repeated the contents of the letter, especially mentioning the reward of the Jiangnan Pacification Division. What a big deal. It seems that Yuan Xianhun will not give the Heavenly Concubine any way to survive. In this case, if the Heavenly Concubine invites you again, just refuse it directly, Su Chen said. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.